All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the stream. Welcome if you are new here. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. And thank you so much for waiting patiently, running around like crazy. Just had a lot going on today. And as I have a lot going on today, there also happens to be a lot of PlayStation stuff happening today. We have quite a bit to discuss and go over here, okay? I'm going to mention this a couple times throughout the stream as more people file in, but as you can see, we have a member goal. It's quite a hefty goal. We're shooting for 100 members today. It's a lot. We've done it before. We've done it many times, actually. But today, the reason why I want to shoot for 100 members is because I actually am getting Astro Bot a little bit early. Which is shocking because this never happens to me, but it's happening with Astro Bot. It's a sign, guys. It's a sign. I am receiving my copy of Astro Bot early. We're not talking about Astro's Playroom, Astro Bot, the new one. Okay? And if we hit 100 members, what we will do right after this stream, we will do a members-only Astro Bot stream right after this stream today. MRPD, do not call the police, bro, please. But guys, I want to encourage you to get an Astro Bot member train going to make this happen. We'll see if we can hit it. All right, we'll see if we can hit it. I know 100's a lot, but like I said, we've done it before. I think we could do it again. You better bait and switch with Concord, or I'll be disappointed. Yeah, that's what it's going to be. We're gonna go into the members stream. It's actually just going to be Concord. That would be pretty funny. You guys don't want spoilers? Dang. Wait, hold on. I didn't think this through. No, you'll deal with it. I mean, yeah, I understand. There could be some spoilers. Is the stream embargo up? I don't know. I haven't signed anything. I haven't signed an NDA. So I'm not, there's nothing necessarily I have to adhere to. I'm just getting my copy like a little bit earlier. Concord stream would be devastating. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out. If we can't hit the 100 members, that's okay. Anything we can do, I will be very grateful for. But we'll see if we can do that. But yeah, we have a lot to go over and talk about today. Astro Bot's reviews are out, and Sony has a huge, huge hit on their hands. Like bigger than I think a lot of people expected. We're going to talk all about that. We're going to talk about what this means for the future of PlayStation, because a game that comes out and scores a 94 Metacritic is definitely something that Sony is going to be paying very close attention to, and something they absolutely... especially given the situation that just occurred with Concord, something they're actually going to be like taking notes for sure. And Henry 3K starts it off today. He drops the 5 bomb on you guys. Henry 3K is the first. He fires the first shot. Henry, thank you so much, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I really got to get an Astro Bot soundbite now, for sure. I got to get one. So Henry, thank you for dropping the 5 bomb. Let me add that to the counter. We have a couple of super chats as well, which I will read in just a moment. I just want to make sure I let you guys know all the topics I hope to discuss today. So on top of talking about Astro Bot, guys, oh wow, okay, this is going to be hard to update. I just realized that. Hold on. Give me 1 second to... Okay. So on top of talking about how Astro Bot has reviewed, we are also going to be talking about a new rumor. Well, it's actually not a rumor. I guess it is, but it's an insider that came out and basically told us when the PS5 Pro reveal is happening. Apparently, the PS5 Pro reveal is happening next week, specifically on Tuesday or Wednesday. So it's happening. We're right there. But on top of that, he says Sony's going to be doing a state of play the next week. But most importantly, apparently Sony is going to be doing some first-party reveals at this State of Play. So, I don't know, man. It sounds like Sony's got a lot of shit cooking. I say shit like that's a bad thing. A lot of stuff that we potentially will be excited for cooking. And I had a feeling this is how they were going to do it, man. I had a feeling that Sony was basically going to, fill every single week of September with something significant for PlayStation. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about Black Myth Wukong once again for a little bit, because this game has reached an absolutely mind-boggling sales milestone that is actually difficult to comprehend. It's like, considering this is their first game. We're going to talk a little bit about Silent Hill 2 Remake, and we're also going to be talking a little bit about Helldivers 2, because it seems there's a major Helldivers 2 update that is going to be adding a new enemy faction coming very soon. This is potentially something that, could show up at this State of Play. And we have a couple of other maybe bonus topics, if we have time, we'll cover as well. So we have Michael Lynch here. He says, I guessed 92, even I was lowballing it, or you typed that twice there, but you're saying Astro Bot kicked that butterscotch Concord game off the cliff. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that. The timing of this is just poetic in a way. I mean, it really is fascinating how in the last 2 weeks, Sony has learned more about what they should be doing and what they shouldn't be doing than they probably have in the past 3 years or more. That's crazy. Everything just happened all at one time. But in 92, yeah, I lowballed it myself. I said Astro was going to be an 87. So I definitely went low on that one. And I knew it had a good chance to hit a 90, but to hit a 94 on Metacritic, dude, I mean, guys, Astro Bot is the highest rated game of the year. Standalone game. The only thing that's higher than Astro Bot is the Elden Ring DLC, but it's still ahead of it, but it is DLC. If we're talking just like a full-fledged standalone release, Astro Bot is number one. It's got a 95 on OpenCritic, dude. 95 on OpenCritic. We have Kainsey70 says, no spoilers, MBG, please. Well, I don't plan on spoiling anything here during this stream. So no worries. You don't have to worry about that. We also have Waylark. He comes in and says, just make a clean-looking game with great gameplay over graphic fidelity. It's why Nintendo is successful with both reviewers and players. Plus, Sony almost reached Mario Odyssey and Galaxy 1 and 2's 97 scores. Yeah, that's the beauty of it, right? Is the biggest reason why Astro Bot is getting critical acclaim is because everybody playing it is like, this is a really fun and enjoyable video game. Just fundamentally, it checks all the boxes, and it does exactly what a video game is supposed to do. And yeah, a lot of people are saying that, this is basically Sony beginning to maybe take a page out of Nintendo's book. And I think this is only a good thing. I do. I think it's only a good thing that a game like Astro Bot is finding the success it is for PlayStation, because I think it opens up a new path that a lot of people have been asking Sony to kind of go down for a long time, but Sony has shown a bit of apprehension or not as much commitment to it. And the reality is, this game, Astro Bot, hitting a 94 is just so incredibly difficult. Team Asobi is probably some of those devs probably have fallen off their chairs, or out of their chairs. This is a huge moment for that team, and Sony is very likely surprised themselves. Sony probably was expecting it to do well, but they are probably kind of shocked as well to see it like a 94. Whoa. And so I think that this definitely, like I said, it opens up a path forward now for Sony that they maybe would have remained hesitant, now that they see this, this solidifies. Astro Bot is the PlayStation mascot now. There is no question about it. Astro Bot is the definitive PlayStation mascot. And Sony is absolutely going to grow the Astro IP and try to get it up there, as high as they can. I'm not saying it'll be that. I'm not saying it could match Mario, but people who were saying that this has the potential to basically be Sony's Mario, they were correct. Today proves that they were absolutely correct. We do have to see sales numbers, of course, but this is a big deal for Sony. Lego Astro incoming, absolutely. Cypherpunk with back-to-back super chats here. He says, always funny to me, we don't trust reviewers when a game we like gets bad reviews, but we are 100% behind them when they praise one. I'm all for the 94. I mean, I think it depends, right? Like, I get what you're saying, and we do see that. But I think it really depends on what game we're talking about. Like, I feel like when we see a game like, I'm trying to think of, like Helldivers 2, right? I remember Helldivers 2 got like a 4 out of 10 or something from one reviewer on Metacritic. Or like a 5 out of 10 or something. Just something ridiculous. Or I think it was even lower. I think they gave it like a 3 out of 10. It's just like, yeah, people are going to look at that and be like, what are you talking about? Maybe what you're speaking to is more like some of the reviewers out there that give games like Horizon or God of War or something like a 7.5 out of 10, which I think most people would disagree with. But there are some people who play games like that and are like, I think that there are some people who would play Astro Bot and probably give it a lower rating just simply because it's not their type of game. So I do get what you're saying, Cypherpunk, but I don't know, man. I just think that one of the reasons why Astro Bot is such a big deal right now is because it's just, this is like Sony is doing a Nintendo thing. You know what I mean? That to me is what's making this kind of a big deal. We're not really seeing Nintendo do a Sony thing, right? We're not seeing Microsoft do a Sony or Nintendo thing. And I think that this is what is like really intrigued people where it's like, wait, hold on. Sony can make a 3D platformer that can compete with Nintendo level 3D platformers. Whoa. I didn't know they could do that. I don't think Sony even knew they could do that. So I think it opens a door of possibility now for the PlayStation brand that wasn't there before. Sony's over here putting this huge focus on live service. We see them come out with Concord, and it's the biggest disaster in the history of the brand. And then literally a couple days later, it's like, here's Astro Bot to save the day. And he doesn't just save the day in the sense that, like, all right, it's a good game. Astro Bot's doing it in a way that's like, wow, this game achieved what very few games can. And I just feel like the message could not be clearer. It just, it literally couldn't have been made clear. Concord comes out. It literally dies after a $200 million budget and 8 years of development. Astro Bot development, 3 years, a team of 60 people, a development budget that's probably less than 100 million, probably less than 80 million. And it gets a 94 on Metacritic, is the highest praised game for the PS5 so far. And now all we have to see is how it sells. But what I can tell you is Astro Bot will make significantly more money than Concord did. And so I think, the message has been sent clear as day to Sony. It's not to say don't do anything in live service. It's not to say only make 3D platformers. That's not the message. The message simply comes down to listen to your audience and follow that. Your audience asked you for more Astro Bot after Astro's Playroom, and you delivered that. And now look at what you're seeing. And this game's probably going to sell well. Your audience did not ask for a live service hero shooter, especially one that's super generic. And we see the result of that. So I hope the takeaway here from Sony is it's not, hey, you should do this one thing or that one thing and avoid this one thing. I want to see Sony continue to diversify their slate and their portfolio. It's necessary. But most importantly, they need to stay in touch with the fans, with the people who are actually here supporting them, supporting the brand, supporting the console, supporting their games. Start there. And that will trickle down to others who aren't paying as much attention. That's how you grow it organically. So we also have, Cypherpunk, yet another super chat here saying, been Nintendo's motto for years, just make fun games, and their games get 30 million plus sales. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that this signals that Sony's going to stop making, more mature games or darker games or, games with darker themes and cutting edge graphical fidelity. They're absolutely going to continue that. And I think PlayStation fans want them to continue that for sure. But I think what it does mean is there's clearly more of a place now. Like, I think Sony should explore this area now in a much, much bigger way. I don't think that means that they should task Naughty Dog, like, hey, Naughty Dog, can you go back and make, games like Jak and Daxter and Crash? Like, only if they want to. If they want to, let them. But if they don't want to, don't force them, right? Let them make what they want. But see if they can start cultivating other teams. Like, they cultivated Team Asobi with Astro, I think Sony will show more of a willingness. But they should, right now, they should focus on seeing what else they can do with Astro. I think that is something they should focus on. We have, let me see here, Kane Z7. He says, let's not forget Team Asobi are the remainders of Japan studio guys, and Asobi means play in Japanese. Yeah, that's true too. It is interesting to think that, Sony Japan studio was closed, but essentially a portion of what was left of that studio was transformed into Team Asobi, and it seems like that was the right call. I know that a lot of people still haven't gotten over Sony Japan closing, but if this is what it led to, then maybe it was the right call, because, I mean, you could make the argument that Sony Japan maybe could have just stuck to making Astro, but from what I recall, Sony Japan was like pretty mismanaged. Like, they were kind of all over the place. And it created a bit of a management problem for them, and I'm assuming some financial problems as well. So it is unfortunate that it had to go down that way, but considering this is the outcome, man, it's hard not to feel like, it's hard not to feel like it was maybe the right thing to do. Ultimately, we have, let me see here. Legend Peters, a member for 16 months, he says, I believe Sony is going to revive old IPs because of the cameos that are in Astro Bot, like Jak and Daxter, Sly Cooper, and Uncharted. I think that would be wise. Yeah, I mean, that comment that came out yesterday from Hiroki Totoki, I actually did a little bit more digging, and apparently that comment was taken completely out of context. He wasn't saying that PlayStation doesn't have enough original IP. Apparently there was like a mistranslation or something taken out of context. He was actually talking more about movies and anime and how they need to like kind of double down on trying to create new IP in these areas. So when it comes to gaming for Sony, PlayStation has a lot of IPs. You look at, you mentioned games like Jak and Daxter, Sly Cooper. I think it's obvious that Uncharted will be coming back. Uncharted is a major, major, major PlayStation franchise. It's not going to remain dormant forever, or certainly not for that long. But Astro Bot's success does open the door. This is exactly what I mean. Like, Sony might be much more willing now to think, maybe we should try to do something more with Sly Cooper. Maybe we should try to do something more with Jak and Daxter, right? It definitely opens that door. I don't want to say it guarantees that we're going to see a revival of these things, but it creates it makes it much more plausible, I would say. And to be clear, again, I don't think the original teams are going to work on these games. To be clear, I don't think you're going to see like Sucker Punch make another Sly Cooper. I mean, maybe they could after like Ghost of Tsushima 2 is like an in-between game, but I think Sony might try to see if there are other teams that they own or that they can partner with that would do justice to some of these games and give them another chance. Supremacy 101 says, Astro Bot's success to me is a double-edged sword. I'm afraid the studio, if it already hasn't, becomes the Astro Bot studio like Insomniac with Spider-Man. Well, yeah. I mean, I won't lie. That's 100% what's going to happen. I don't think it means that they can't eventually work on something else, but the reality is they probably have a lot more they want to do with Astro Bot. Here's my question about Astro Bot, right? Like it's twofold. My question is, number one, how's it going to sell? And number two, if it does sell really well and we do get a sequel, which I think it's obvious we will at least get a sequel, Sony will keep this game around just for the prestige. And they will keep the studio around just for the prestige. No doubt about it. Will an Astro Bot sequel be able to stand on its own without like the PlayStation cameos and without relying on everything being PlayStation themed, but Astro Bot just being its own game? You know what I mean? Maybe having some PlayStation iconography, but not anywhere near what we're seeing. That's a question I have for Team Asobi and for the Astro Bot IP. I feel like at this point in time, especially with the success of Astro Bot that we're seeing, I feel like it will need to be tethered directly to PlayStation. Like, as in every game will have to have PlayStation, a PlayStation theme. I could be wrong about that, but I think there's just this kind of like, see, it's my worry isn't so much that they're going to become just like the Astro Bot team. And I wouldn't say it's a worry either. It's not a worry, but I do think that maybe there is a bit of trepidation after this where it's like, could Astro Bot just kind of stand on its own without any PlayStation theming around it as being a part of it? But yeah, there's definitely going to be a sequel. And we have Robozilla. He says, I hope Astro Bot can save platformers. We need Sony to realize that there's a huge market for people that miss games like Jack and Sly Cooper. Yeah, I think it will. I think that Team Asobi, actually, believe it or not, could be the studio that is given one of these games. Maybe they're not just going to be the Astro studio from now on. You know, Astro Bot is coming out at the perfect time. This year is the 30th anniversary of PlayStation, and what better time to release a game like Astro Bot that it's filled to the brim with just the entire history of PlayStation, right? I don't think the timing gets any better than that. But yeah, it could open the door of opportunity for Team Asobi, where maybe Sony will ask them, like, do you want to work on, like, in between an Astro game, right? Like, assuming they're going to do an Astro Bot sequel, which they will, maybe in between, or maybe after that sequel, take a little break from Astro, maybe make a Sly Cooper game or something like that. But I don't know. It's a tough thing because the reality is this is an unprecedented level of success for this IP and for the studio. And so, it really is one of these things where it's like, what's the next logical thing to do? The next logical thing to do is make more Astro Bot. You know what I mean? So that's why I think there's just as much of a chance that they're going to decide to maybe go in the other direction, and try to give these games to other studios. And I see we have Omen86 returns. Omen86 making his presence known. I don't know how long it's been, man, but he comes in and he re-ups his membership. Welcome back. Welcome back, Omen. I can only assume he was taking a long break to enjoy some gaming on the Dreamcast. But welcome, man. Good to have you back, bro. And thank you for re-upping your membership as well. That actually brings us up to 6 today. Hopefully that... Okay, good. That automatically counted. make an Astro Bot cartoon. I mean, Sony's probably going to do as much as they can with Astro going forward now. We have to see how the sales are. I think Sony is incredibly happy that they have a 94 Metacritic game on their hands now, a potential game of the year. They're very, very happy about this, but we got to see how it sells. And I do want to encourage anybody, you know, if you like what you see at all with Astro, give it a chance, you know. We got to send Sony the message here. And we have, oh, hold on. We have Radic BJ. I don't know. I don't know how to say your name, bro. And oh my God.
Holy shit.
Oh my God. Omen 86. Holy mother of God. Bro just came in and dropped a 50 bomb on you guys. Omen, bro. He is back with a vengeance today, man. Omen 86 comes in and is like 50 memberships. Or maybe this is more appropriate. Omen 86 comes back and he's like, yo, what's up, MBG? Here you go. That's incredible, though, dude. Irfan really found that one funny. So 50 memberships doled out by Omen86 here. Guys, I do want to take this moment to let you know, if you are new here, the first sound was better. Okay. Duly noted. If you're new here, click Omen86's gift icon at the top and make sure you're opted in to potentially receive a membership gift. I'll let her in a minute. Hold on, I gotta let Luna in. Luna was chilling at the door. She knew. She's like, yo, I think it's almost time. But yeah, that's absolutely huge, man. 50 memberships gifted by Omen. That is truly unexpected. Not only did he return, but he returned and he sent a message and he says, here you go. So with that, we are now more than halfway to the goal. So just a reminder, I received my I will be receiving my copy of Astro Bot early. So I encourage you guys to keep this member train going. Let me just update it here. Good stuff, man. King Bull says, I just subbed to your channel. Looks like you do good gaming coverage. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I see the gifts are still being given out. That's crazy. Very unexpected, but very welcome. I'm very thankful for that. Omen, seriously, thank you so much, bro. That's absolutely huge. I'm assuming he's hyped for Astro. Everybody seems to be hyped for Astro in this chat. I don't know. I did see some people saying that maybe it's not for them, but I don't know, man. I get it. I really traditionally have not been into 3D platformers, but really it's when I played Astro's Playroom, I was like, damn, this is actually extremely fun. Extremely fun. I see Omen drops a super chat here, and he says, back for greatness. Damn, dude. Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised, Omen. I'm not surprised that this is the time to return, because we do have more to talk about when it comes to Sony's plans for the remainder of this month, and it really does seem like Sony was waiting for September, and specifically the launch of Astro, to really start ramping things up again. We could, I mean, look, I don't want to overhype anybody. Yeah, Space Marine 2 is out as well, or I think that's coming out in a couple days, right? That's going to be big too. I don't want to overhype anybody, but it really does seem like Sony is ready to hit the ground running. I think I think they really do want this whole Concord situation to be just like a distant memory, you know, that nobody thinks about. And I think essentially the way they're going to do that is they're just going to make sure that this entire month is filled with hopefully nothing but good news going forward. And I think the release of Astro Bot is the best possible way to start that. Someone platinumed Astro Bot in 45 hours? Oh, there's no way it takes that long, dude. 45 hours? That's nuts. I'm struggling to believe that. I mean, I guess like maybe 45 hours if you're not doing any type of walkthrough or guide. I guess I could see it maybe taking that long to get stuck. Yeah, Carl, thank you for mentioning that. I forgot to bring that up. There is... So I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but Sony did post a PlayStation blog for the 30th anniversary of PlayStation. They actually announced some of their plans to celebrate. And so we have to cover that as well. A lot going on today. I see we have RoboZilla coming in. RoboZilla is keeping the member train rolling along here. Let's get some W's in the chat for RoboZilla as well. Dropping another 5 bomb, bringing us up to 61 members on the day. So guys, we are making our way. I'm actually quite shocked. We're already this close. I was not anticipating that. So thank you for that, RoboZilla. Still have a couple of super chats. Want to make sure I don't miss. And before I read the rest of these super chats, guys, if you could do me a favor, hit the like button to help the stream out. We're sitting at 170 likes. You guys have been doing great on recent streams, and it's actually really been helping. So if you just want to let me know you enjoy the content, but more importantly, if you want to help with the YouTube algorithm so we can get more people in here, new viewers, just take a second and hit that like button. See if we can push for like 200 likes. Chris, you're saying MBG, I just watched the Digital Foundry Astro Bot video, and they said the game is flawless with frame rate and visuals. One of the best they have seen in a while. I'm not surprised, dude. I'm not surprised. That's something I did expect from Team Asobi, is on a technical level, this game basically being near flawless, because that's what Astro's Playroom was. And I'm really happy to hear that. I see we have a direct donation as well from PS Gamer. So let me read the rest of these super chats. Let me get to that direct donation. And what I want to do after that is just go over a couple of the reviews, or just a couple of excerpts from the reviews, and see what people are saying. No spoilers, of course. And then we'll move on to the big rumor as well. So Radix says, don't just gloat about the reviews, buy the game. That's the only thing that matters. I do agree. I don't want to say, I halfway agree. I don't think it's the only thing that matters, but I do think that it will be a huge determining factor in how Sony views this game, like how much of a success they view it. There's no doubt that Sony's very happy that it's reviewing well, but yeah, we do need to see this game sell. I don't think that this is going to be like a 10 million sell. I mean, I'm just not necessarily anticipating that. I think it could be a slow burn type of thing where it gets off to a pretty good sales start, but actually sells better over time for Sony than they were expecting. I really don't know what number to throw out there in terms of expectations, because it's like, well, could it sell 2 million? Could it sell 4 million? Could it sell more than that? I don't think it's going to be like 10 million or 8 million seller. But again, I do think it getting very good reviews like this, very, very positive word of mouth. I think what this does is it makes people who are maybe somewhat interested or not paying as close attention, I think it does make them more interested, or it does catch their attention. Yeah, that's true. Astro's Playroom has over 60 million purchases technically as a pack-in game. And Supremacy 101 with a super chat says, Team Asobi was once known as Japan Studio, which was responsible for many fan favorites such as Gravity Rush, Ape Escape, Ico, etc. Will now be relegated to this franchise, which is a shame. I don't know, Supremacy. I think you're bringing some of that negative energy right now. I'll be honest. I think it's a little bit negative, man. I think that, like I said, it is a little bit disappointing that Japan Studio doesn't exist anymore technically, but I don't know, man. I think that those games you listed, like Gravity Rush, for example, I do think that maybe Sony will do something with them at some point in the future. But I just think it's a matter of like having each team kind of more organized. I think that's maybe the biggest thing that Sony had a problem with when it comes to Japan Studio is that they were very disorganized. And the reality is, and this is why people are saying, like, listen, we have to see how Astro Bot sells. The reality is a lot of these games you listed didn't really sell very well at all. And in some cases, they were considered like flops sales-wise. And so even if they did find some critical success, the commercial success was not enough to justify them. And that's not a slight at any of these games, but it's just the financial reality of it where, you know, I think that's maybe the thing here with Astro Bot is, yes, that's true too. Not all of them were critical hits either, which, you know, didn't help. But I think the important thing with Astro Bot is it has this opportunity where it achieves something critically that very few games do. And so now, you know, now we're looking at a situation where if it can start to sell better than Sony expected and turn a pretty decent profit, again, I would look at it the other way, Supremacy. I wouldn't look at it as Astro Bot's success means that all of these other franchises will remain buried permanently. I would look at it as Astro Bot's success may actually, again, one day open the door for Sony to be more willing to give these other games a chance. Not all of them, certainly not. But that's how I'm viewing it. We also have Inspector Guru. Oh, wait, hold on. I missed Waylark here. Waylark says, was only a couple of months ago you hoped we wouldn't get games like Jak and Daxter or Sly in the future. Happy to see you've changed your mind. Embrace fun. Well, yeah, to be clear, it's not that I was hoping we wouldn't see those games. The truth is, when it comes to the studios that are responsible for those games, I wouldn't want to see them go back to them, at least not yet. For example, Sucker Punch, right? If you were to ask me, do you want Sly Cooper from Sucker Punch or more Ghost of Tsushima? Like 100%, please, more Ghost of Tsushima. No doubt about that. But that's not to say that I wouldn't like to see Sly Cooper at some point. You know, I don't want it to have to be like a one or the other type thing, if that makes sense. Same thing with Jak and Daxter. I mean, I think Naughty Dog going back to Jak and Daxter would actually be very interesting. But it's like if they want to do a new IP, yeah, I think I'd rather see that new IP, but it would also be cool if Sony could find a way to do something more with Jak and Daxter at the same time. You get what I'm saying? It's one of these situations where I hope the future of PlayStation is more along the lines of why not both? You get what I mean? All right. PS Gamer, don't worry, bro. I'm going to read your direct donation. Let me bring it up here. I want to make sure I do that so I don't forget. Okay. PS Gamer says, great days are coming. Just finished Black Myth today. One of the best games this year. Astro tomorrow and a state of play and pro for next week. PS fans eating good. Yeah, I'm feeling the same way, PS Gamer. I feel like, again, I don't want to get ahead of myself because I've done that one too many times. But I am getting the feeling that we are going to see Sony start to return to a not overhype mode, but maybe you know, we're going to start seeing some things that indicate they are getting back to hype mode, at least a little bit. You know, I think the way this month is going to play out is, again, Astro Bot releases tomorrow, PS5 Pro announcement and reveal next week, State of Play the week after, and I think that State of Play could be bigger than we think. They're already talking about the 30th anniversary celebration, which we're going to cover in a little bit, and then they close out the year, or not the year, the month, not even the year, the month, with TGS, Tokyo Game Show, being there for the first time in 5 years, with Death Stranding 2. So, I think that Sony wants to end this year on a very strong note, and we do have to also consider that one of the biggest events of the year in December, the Game Awards, Sony's very likely going to have a big presence there too. So I'm in agreement. I think that I don't want to again jump to conclusions and assume that all the bad news is done and it's out of the way, and Sony, they made some of the mistakes they had to make and then they had to kind of sort it out. I don't want to say that it's for sure over, because we don't know that, it's, we got to wait and see. But I will say that energy-wise, I'm feeling better. Certainly, I'm feeling a lot better going forward, literally after today. I'm hoping that the announcement of the Concord shutdown is the last major bad news we're going to get for quite some time, and that going forward, it can actually finally just be okay, we're getting back to it. We're finally getting back to where we want to see Sony. And I think that Sony will be rewarded for that, just like we're seeing with Astro Bot. If Sony has a good state of play, they're going to be rewarded with that by just, hey man, you just won more goodwill, and that's good for you. That's good for the brand, and that's going to be good for the product. Dan says once Marathon comes and Fair Games come, MBG will be dooming again. I'm going to try. Look, man, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to try not to, just because it's listen, the biggest, look, for as much dooming as I did about Concord, right? Here's the reality. Doesn't matter, MBG. Doesn't matter. Wait, why doesn't it matter? That's done now. Oh, okay. Not only is it done now, here's Astro Bot. Enjoy. You know what I'm saying? Here's Silent Hill 2 Remake. Enjoy. So it's oh, all right. So, if these games come and they're not looking too good and I'm still, I am feeling down on them, then so be it. There's clear, I'm feeling very confident that's, and this is the confidence I've had in Sony the whole time. It's that they're going to have other things. They've had many other things that are going to be very exciting. Supremacy 101 says Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart ended with an 88 on Metacritic, and I feel more went into that than the $60 bite-sized experience. Hey, people love them. Gimmicks. Damn, Supremacy 101 straight up in here hating on Astro Bot. What is this blasphemy? I don't know, man. See, Supremacy, I don't know if I agree, dude, because you're saying it's a bite-sized experience. Bro, it's going to be about as long as Ratchet & Clank was, I don't know, man. Supremacy, I'm pretty sure if you played Astro Bot, you'd probably like it. I think you would. Listen, man, when I saw Astro's Playroom revealed for the PS5, I didn't really care. I'm going to be honest. When I first saw it revealed, I just didn't really care that much about it. And really, it was you guys, it was my audience that was bro, you got to play Astro's Playroom. And I was okay, yeah, it's a free pack-in. I'm way more excited for Demon Souls, way more excited for Miles Morales and stuff like that. But sure, I'll play Astro's Playroom. And when I did, I was wow, you guys weren't kidding. This is actually really, really, really good. Shockingly good. And very, very satisfying. So, I don't know, man. I guess Supremacy, I don't know if you played Astro's Playroom or not, but I would give it a try, bro, if you haven't. If you did and you really don't like it, I mean, hey, to each their own, To each their own. We have Inspector Guru, he says, it's been a minute. What's up, PlayStation family? What's up, Inspector Guru? Appreciate you being here. I'm glad you rejoining the chat here. We have Arnie Vesper saying, for me, Nathan Drake is the PlayStation mascot, but I see why people think Astro is for a fun platformer thing. But to me, Astro is just based on PlayStation design, no soul. I get what you're saying in the sense that, like, yeah, everything about Astro is kind of brought to life through other PlayStation mediums, you know, and IP. So I get what you're saying there. And I guess the thing about Astro being a mascot for PlayStation is that it's universal, you know, it's for everyone. And that it finally strikes that, like, the last time we had a mascot like this was maybe Sackboy, but the reality is I don't think Little Big Planet, correct me if I'm mistaken, but I don't think it ever achieved this level of success. I mean, I don't know. I do think Astro does have its own unique personality and charm, to be honest. I would say maybe saying no soul is a bit harsh. But I get what you're saying, where it is very reliant, like I said, on... It is very reliant on previous, you know, on everything related to PlayStation. But I think that's what kind of makes it such a great mascot in a way, you know, is that it's almost like Astro Bot can find a way to represent all of this stuff in one, you know? That's why I feel like it's why Kratos could never really be the mascot for PlayStation, because it's like, to a lot of people he is, but you can like understand why Sony's not going to try to promote Kratos in the same way that you're going to see, you know, like Nintendo promote Mario. It's just it's not going to be able to appeal to everybody. And that's what I think is cool about Astro. Is that, you know, it appeals to everybody. Kids, teenagers, young adults, you know, middle-aged adults, old adults, everybody, you know, who doesn't like Astro. Sackboy was great too, but I think, I don't know, Sackboy just seemed like it just seemed very clear at some point that Sackboy was no longer the mascot. And prior to that, Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, they were good too. You're saying Kratos is a mascot? No, he is a mascot for PlayStation, but he's like one of many. You get what I mean? Like, just as Arnie Vesper says Nathan Drake is the mascot, I think that PlayStation they kind of have a unique position where they have all these different generational defining games and characters that it's different for everybody. But that's why I think Astro does make the most sense to be like to represent all of them. I think that's why it's cool when you see certain pictures of Astro. It's like, oh, there's Kratos Astro, Nathan Drake Astro Bot, and Horizon Astro Bot. And I feel like it just kind of, again, it just encapsulates all of it in one. Axel, you're saying, hey, MBG, do you think this game's reception will incite Sony to revive old IP such as Sly Cooper? Yeah, you're not the only one to mention that today, Axel. I did answer that a few times, but simply put, I think it gives previous IP a much better chance at revival. I do. I think that Sony going back to something like Sly Cooper is actually much more likely now, in some way, shape, or form. If not Sly Cooper, just something that they own that's in the similar vein. Jumping Flash. Oh, yeah. Omen86 with a super chat also says, big PlayStation Studio announcement on the way. And in all caps, he says, nuclear. Oh, shit. Omen, what do you know, bro? What do you know? Tell me what you know. I'm thinking there might be, dude. God knows it feels like it's time, right? Feels like we've been waiting for that big PlayStation announcement We will see. We will see, Omen. I will be here. I will be here. We will watch it together. Swift Guyver. No way, bro. No way. Cypherpunk says, funny seeing people saying they, quote, ain't buying no kids game on X and YouTube comments. Emo edgelord neckbeards. I know, dude. Look, I understand if an adult says it's not very appealing to me, those are not the type of games I'm into, I'm good. I totally respect that because I feel that way about a lot of different games too, where I wouldn't say it's just for kids. I would just say like maybe it's not for me, but I don't like when I encounter people who basically act like, like you're weird or something. You get what I mean? I've had people say that to me on Twitter and whatnot, and it is definitely just like, wow. I think, like, I feel like people who say that in such a demeaning way, like I think they show their own level of immaturity where it's like, bro, it's a fun game that anybody can play and enjoy. It reminds me of like when people were saying that about Ratchet and Clank. It's like, dude, Ratchet and Clank was fun as hell. It's a nice change of pace, man. Like, I don't need every game to be, a blood-soaked, dark. I mean, I love those games. I do, but it's just nice every now and again to have something that's much more lighthearted. And honestly, like, one of the things I'm excited about too is playing this game with my family. Now, I know Mrs. MBG is excited for it. My son's excited for it. I showed him the trailer and just wanted to see what he thought. And he said he wanted to play it. I'm like, this is great, So it's a nice family game. But even if you just want to enjoy it on your own, like, dude, literally half of my excitement for playing Astro Bot is I can't wait to see all of the cameos. I can't wait to see all the different nods to PlayStation's history. I'm very much excited for that because it is PlayStation's 30th anniversary. I'm 30 years old. I'm going to be 31 this month, actually. I literally grew up with PlayStation, dude. For real. Like, that's not an exaggeration. Like, when I was a kid, I had a Nintendo 64 and I enjoyed it. And that was really the first console I remember actually caring about. Like, I want to ask my parents for a console for Christmas. And I got an N64 and I remember playing like Mario Kart with my sister and stuff. I'm like, this is kind of fun. But as soon as I saw the PlayStation 1, I think I went over like a friend's house and I played the PS1. If memory serves, because I was very young, I played the PS1 and he showed me some of his games. I think I remember seeing like Tomb Raider. And there's actually like this Jurassic Park game that they showed me where like dinosaurs were fighting each other. It was like a dinosaur fighting game. It's probably terrible. It's probably just trash. And I also remember seeing Spyro and Crash Bandicoot. And I remember like I basically was like begging my parents to get me a PlayStation 1. And they did. And ever since when I got the PS1, that's what I played. Like, I had an N64 and I had a PS1. I still played my N64, but I played my PS1 way more. And I was just much more into it for some reason. I don't know why, but I was. And yeah, so like when I tell you I actually grew up playing PlayStation, the PlayStation console, like that's real. Like that's literally what I grew up with most of the, like, for almost throughout my entire gaming life. I played many other consoles as well. I remember my cousin had the Dreamcast and he really was trying to sell me on the Dreamcast. I remember that. My cousin had a Dreamcast and he's like, bro, you got to get one. Like, this is amazing. And he brought it over. We play it. And I'm like, yeah, this is pretty cool. I kind of like this. But then I would go back to my PlayStation 1. I'm like, nah, I think I'm good though, bro. I think I'm good. Anyway, I'll try to save that for the 30th anniversary discussion. Supremacy with another super chat says, yes, I am, because there's a precedent. The idea of solely focusing on big sellers is why they're fumbling with their new IPs, creative originality. Yeah, I do understand where that fear comes from. We have seen many instances, not necessarily from Sony alone, but across many different industries. We've seen many instances of once they find that commercial success, they always run the risk of maybe running it into the ground. And we don't want to see that happen. This is why some people are a little bit worried about how much Horizon are we getting exactly from Guerrilla. And I get it, because Guerrilla's been working on Horizon long enough that you do not want to see any of these very talented creative studios just, basically have tunnel vision and just focus on one singular thing. It feels too restrictive. And I agree with that. And I don't want to see Team Asobi literally just be the Astro Bot team for the rest of their existence. I think that Astro Bot should be their focal point. But if they do grow, right? Like, the reality is, if this game sells well, they're probably going to grow and become a bigger team. And if Sony really starts to believe in this team, they could become a 2-game team where they can kind of cycle stuff, where we're going to have one team that's really just focused on making the Astro Bot games, but we're going to have a whole other team that's going to focus on either reviving classic IP or making new IP. And I think that this is the best way to handle it when it makes sense to do so financially, right? So, MBG, did Herman show up for congrats for Astro? It's a good question. I don't think so. I didn't see it. I don't know that Herman should really. Yeah, I don't know that he should really be tweeting. Maybe he'll tweet about it. I don't know. I'd be a little bit nervous if I was him. Like, genuinely, because I've seen people like messaging him or replying to some of his older tweets over Concord and whatnot. It's like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe later this month. Shuhei Yoshida did. Awesome. Read 'em and Weep says Jeff Keighley was the one who broke the news that Ken Kutaragi, otherwise known as the father of PlayStation, will be giving a speech at Tokyo Game Show. Oh. Ooh, that is... Okay. I like that. I'm actually really interested in that. The father... Ken Kutaragi, the father of PlayStation. I'm just so glad that Sony's doing a celebration for the 30th anniversary, man. It really does make me happy, because it is a big deal. Like, it's a crazy big deal, 30 years. Yeah, he did make some big mistakes with the PS3, but there's no denying that PlayStation really wouldn't exist or be what it is without him. Certainly not. Yeah, we're going to move on to the blog post in just a moment. Let me just make sure I read everybody's super chats. Don't want to leave anybody waiting too long. Zombie Dragon says, I think I'm pretty sure you meant to say Astrobot, but it says Aphrodite. That's the craziest autocorrect I think I've ever seen. You meant to say Astrobot, but it autocorrected to Apphrodite. That really is a wild autocorrect, but I think I understand what you're trying to say. I think Astrobot could sell 10 million. The only games that come to mind that has beaten it in Metacritic score is Elden Ring and Baldur's Gate 3. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know, man. It's one of these things where it's right now impossible to truly gauge how impactful these reviews and this critical acclaim is going to be for Astrobot. What I can say objectively and factually is it will only help it. But by how much, I have no idea. Sony can see the pre-order numbers, so Sony has probably a pretty decent idea of what it's going to sell. If I had to guess, and this is just a guess, I'm going to say the pre-order numbers for Astrobot are not on the same level as the pre-orders we've seen for a game like Spider-Man 2, for God of War, for Horizon, for, these big tentpole titles for The Last of Us, even for Ghost of Tsushima. But I do wonder if maybe it could be... I mean, I don't know, man. I'm thinking we have to see if this game can even reach 5 million. I'm thinking that's the first thing we have to see. I think if this game reaches 5 million, that's going to be pretty huge for it. Really quick, you're saying Gorilla tweeted about, let me go check. Why can't I find Gorilla Games? Dude, I hate Twitter sometimes, man. Oh. All right. I thought you okay, I misread or misunderstood. I thought there was they made some kind of announcement or something. Yeah, I will have to give who some treats. But I'll wait till he wakes up. No need to incite chaos yet. Racket Raccoon says, for PS3, I'd say Cole McGrath as the mascot. That's interesting, Racket. See, that's what I mean. All these different characters. It really comes down to, I think, the individual, and everybody has their own mascot, right? Because I think for a lot of people, they don't even know who Cole McGrath is. False alarm. The beast reoriented himself for a better sleeping position. We have a Shadow Link. He says, it's almost like you didn't ask for their opinion. It's almost like that, isn't it? You're absolutely right, Shadow Link. But see, that's the beauty of the internet. Nobody needs to ask. It's the beauty, but also it's what simultaneously makes the internet so beautiful, but so hideous at the same time. Figuratively Literal says there was a rumor stating some developers from Sucker Punch and Insomniac formed a new studio keen on platformers, but maybe I like that hopium too much. That would be very interesting. And that would actually make a lot of sense. That would make a lot of sense if they were to do something like that. I say this because you're talking about two PlayStation Studios teams that have a deep history of making these type of platformers. And so if there were some developers there that, like at Sucker Punch, that would like to work on platformers, and obviously there are developers at Insomniac that want to work on platformers, that's why they want to keep making Ratchet. They kind of join forces, form a new studio. I'm not necessarily anticipating that that's going to be the truth and that we're going to get an announcement of a new studio like that. It would be actually very cool, but for now, I'm going to file that under hopium, just for now, till we hear something concrete about it. We also have Rashdom V2, and he says, weird seeing the hardcore PlayStation fanboys saying Mario and Nintendo games are kids compared to the usuals like The Last of Us, are now praising Astro Bot. Well, I mean, again, it depends on who you're listening to. At least for the time that I've been running this channel, Rashdom, I've seen hundreds, thousands of people in my chat, in my comment section, basically expressing how much they love Nintendo and how, the Nintendo Switch is an absolute mainstay console, a staple console for them, and they love their games. I have seen people, make that comparison at times, though, where it's like Nintendo is for kids. And I think here's the difference, though. I think that some people misconstrue or misunderstand where Nintendo is more oriented towards kids as a company. They are. I don't think anybody can disagree with that. And that's not nobody should be saying that's a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. It's just it is what it is. They are geared, like more of what they do is geared towards kids in the sense that, again, it's for everyone. Like if you say Astro Bot's for kids, that's true. But because it's for kids, it means it's for everybody. So I think what the real translation needs to be is that they've positioned themselves to essentially be for everybody of all ages. And that's why I think people of all ages enjoy Nintendo. Sony, truthfully, has not done that in the same way. And that is why Astro Bot is interesting. Games like Ghost of Tsushima, games like The Last of Us, games like God of War, they are not for everyone. They're just not. They're not made for kids. They're not made for a younger audience. They're not made for, massive demographics of people that they're just not. Nobody's saying they should be either, but it's just that's the way it is. And so I think what we're seeing here is a situation where, again, people are looking at Astro Bot and they're kind of realizing like, it's not too often PlayStation does stuff like this. I would say that Astro Bot is even more appealing to kids than even something like Ratchet and Clank is. It could be even more appealing to an even younger audience of people and gamers, right? Are there those people out there though that are, they'll call this childish or that kid-like, but then when their preferred platform does it, it's like, oh no, this is great now. Yeah, of course. So I do get where you're coming from, Rashdam, but I don't know, man. What's interesting to me is when we talk about the idea of like hardcore PlayStation fanboys, I mean, there are PlayStation fanboys all around, right? Like there are people who I see comments from them where like, yeah, I'm a PlayStation fanboy, but it's not like a bad thing. Like they're just saying, I just really like PlayStation. I'm really into it. Like I'm a PlayStation fanboy, like it's my favorite platform. I like, I highly engage with not almost everything they do. And I pay very close attention, but I do get what you're saying where it's like, it's not a good look to, I guess, punch down at things that it's like, you're punching down because of who made it, not because of what it is. You know what I mean? And then that means you're going to celebrate something that the only reason you're celebrating it is because of the logo on it. And I mean, look, that's what makes Astro Bot and the conversation surrounding it so interesting, right? Because I genuinely do wonder to myself, how hyped would I be for Astro Bot right now if you removed all the PlayStation-ness from it? How hyped would I be for it? If there were no cameos, if there were no references to older games or the history of PlayStation, the truth is my hype would be drastically reduced to a point where I would probably question whether or not I'm going to play it. Now, once I see the reviews and I, see what everybody's saying, it's like, oh, okay, well, yeah, I'll play it. It looks like it's going to be a really good platform, but how much would it affect the reviews? So it's definitely an interesting thought process, right? Where it's like, what would it look like without the PlayStation slant? But this is where it's so interesting because it's like, well, of course a game like Astro Bot should appeal to PlayStation fanboys, right? Of course it should, because what are PlayStation fanboys? PlayStation fanboys are people that really like PlayStation and have spent years playing on PlayStation and supporting PlayStation. So when you take a game like Astro Bot where it's like literally half of this game is meant to celebrate the history of PlayStation, yeah, it should appeal to that. You know what I mean? Does Nintendo have a game like this, by the way? I don't think they do, right? I guess maybe Smash Bros. Could be like considered the closest thing. But I do get where you're coming from, Rashdam. Irvin, you're saying Jeff Grubb says Astro Bot is the best PlayStation game ever made. Damn. That's some crazy high praise right there. I'm curious to see how much I like it when I'm finished with it. Like, I know I'm going to enjoy it because I enjoyed Astro's Playroom, but I wonder if it's going to be like, wow, this is actually legitimately one of the best games I ever played. A2 says, holy shit, 94 for Astro. Restructuring Japan Studio was the greatest thing to do. I'm at work. Just came by to say glory to Astrobot. Have a great stream. Thank you for that, A2. I'm assuming you're not here anymore, but I appreciate you stopping by, man. And yeah, a lot of people I think were surprised to see just how highly rated Astro was. For sure. Figuratively Literal says, also, Jack was darker than the rest. The roots of their storytelling still come from Jack. Jack 2 opens with you almost killing your best friend. That's true. I don't really have much experience at all with Jack and Daxter, and that's actually fascinating to me that that's the case. That explains a lot. Yeah, I should look into Jack and Daxter. That's one of those IPs that I'm just pretty much in the dark with. I mean, we did hear that Sony was planning to do something with a Jack and Daxter movie, apparently. So when you consider that, it makes you wonder if they do have some kind of plan to do something more with Jack and Daxter in the future. Cypherpunk, you're saying Abby will forever be PlayStation's mascot. Yep. Cypherpunk, we don't need that chaos right now, bro. We don't need that chaotic energy. Waylark says if it was Astro Bot, we'd be calling it trash. I mean, I wouldn't be calling it trash. I think it would be pretty interesting if Microsoft tried to do something in the same vein or a similar vein to celebrate the history and the heritage of Xbox. But I don't know, man. I don't think I would. Would some people be calling it trash? Yeah, some people would be. But, you know, there are probably certain Xbox fanboys that are calling Astro Bot trash, when in reality, it's like, come on, bro. Like, just say you don't like PlayStation. Like, just say you hate them, you know? It's fine. Like, it's fine. Nobody's saying you have to like them. But, yeah, I don't know. I do see people on Twitter right now weaponizing Astro Bot, and I think it's a very bad look. I'm going to be honest. I think it's a bad look to weaponize this game, or any game for that matter. Like, I think what PlayStation fans should be doing, like, you know, the ones that are chronically online, like myself, I think what they should be doing with a game like Astro Bot is just celebrating it. Just celebrate it, you know? That's all that needs to be done. There doesn't have to be comparisons. I mean, I feel like the Nintendo comparisons are inevitable, but they're like positive comparisons, you know what I mean? And so I don't think there's any harm in that. But generally speaking, I think it should just be focused on just celebrate the game, you know? Celebrate it for what it is. Let it shine on its own, and don't, you know, there doesn't have to be any toxic, doesn't have to be any like console warring or anything over it. It's just, it looks like a great game made by a talented team. And let's play it and enjoy it. Saying people are just trying to ruin people's fun. Yeah, that's a common theme on Twitter. We have Josh Z here with the super chat. And he says, as a lifetime Nintendo fan, they hide some pretty not for kids stuff in their games, particularly in Zelda and Metroid. Yeah, I've come across a couple of videos in the past that kind of dive deeper into this, Josh, that kind of reveal certain aspects where it's like, actually, you'd be surprised that Nintendo, some of their games, they can dive into like some deeper themes and whatnot, or darker themes, I mean to say, that you wouldn't necessarily expect. And so it is interesting to think that they do put that in their games. I'm wondering what the I think this is just where like maybe there's something to be said about the graphical fidelity situation, where it's not that Nintendo doesn't have really good looking games, they do, but it does seem like you won't necessarily expect to see a game on the Nintendo Switch or the Nintendo Switch 2 that's going to have the same type of fidelity and like realism that something like The Last of Us is attempting to achieve, right? And I think the reason why I'm pointing it out is because I think it creates a bit of a separation to where, like, when you have these darker, deeper themes combined with like realism versus having these themes in games that, you know, don't have that same level of like, they're not striving for that same level of photorealism. I think the impact can be the same on players. Graphics only go so far, but I think it does create a different like outward conversation, if that makes sense. Hopefully what I'm saying makes some kind of sense. And we also have Kane-Z70 says, this best game ever made is very relative. Like, I didn't enjoy Black Myth Wukong as much as everyone else, so much so I stopped playing. It didn't click for me. Well, you know, that's the thing, man. I do feel like oh my God. What? Kane-Z7, hold on, bro. What? I am flabbergasted. Flabber. I can't even talk. Holy shit. Omen86. He has returned and he has dropped not 1, 2 50 bombs. Are you kidding me? A second 50 bomb.
Holy shit.
Omen86 going crazy. Boss has no idea what he's going to wake up to, man. I can't believe that. Omen, bro. Thank you so much. And you said here with your milestone chat, I've been away for some time. I needed to focus on something without any distraction. Had to crunch to meet a deadline. Back to support this channel. Well, thank you so much, bro. That is absolutely huge. Yeah, I noticed. I was like, man, Omen, where'd Omen86 go? But that's the thing. It's like, you know, things come up in life and people got a dip for a while. I think, you know, we've all been there. But I'm glad to see that you're back, man. And geez, dude, I am very grateful for the amount of support you are showing the channel and this community. You just blew past our goal. Omen86 single-handedly killed the goal today, bro, of 100 members. So I really, really appreciate that. Yeah, I am, wow. I can't remember the last time we got a double 50 bomb in a stream. That's wild. So I have to update. We're at 100. That has to be like a lucky number, right? We're at 111 members. So just another, I'm going to put it out there one more time, man. For anybody who is not a channel member, make sure you click the gift icon, Omen86's gift icon at the top, and you opt in to potentially receive a membership gift in the future. So that's holy shit, that's 111 people gifted memberships today. So there we go. That does it. I'm gonna check to see where my copy of Astro Bot is. Let me make sure it's still gonna get here in time. Yeah, dude, I've never received a game early. Yeah, we're gonna have to do some reps too. Absolutely. Zephyr's like, are we doing reps? So it says it's arriving between 1:45 and 3:45. So basically in the next 2 hours, my copy will be here. So when we wrap this stream up, we did it. We're going to do a members stream of not Astro's Playroom, Astro Bot. I'm getting the game a day early. That never happened ever in the history of my life, ordering games from Amazon or anywhere for that matter. And it's actually kind of insane that it's happening for a game like Astro Bot. So we will do that after this stream wraps up today, guys. And thank you so much. I really was like, man, I feel like I'm pushing it by making the goal 100 members to do this. But here we are, not even a full hour and a half into the stream, and you crushed it. So, you know, I want to encourage everybody listening, if you want to keep the member train going and go further, try to get it to 125, 150, by all means, continue to do so. It just helps support the channel. It just helps the community. And, you know, we are totally fan funded here. I can only do this with your support. So thank you. And my God, Omen86 is like, yeah, sure thing, bro. I'll keep it going. He drops another 20 bomb. Dude, Omen is dropping bombs today on you guys. Oh my Lord. This man came packing today. Another 20 memberships gifted. So to everybody who is receiving a membership gift, please go enjoy the members' content that's out there. There's plenty more to come. Similio says thank you. That's crazy, dude. He's like, yeah, he's a one-man army out here, bro. Omen just dropped 120 membership gifts. That's crazy. I don't even know what to say. That's awesome, dude. I was not expecting that. I need some Astrobot salutes right now. We need some Astrobot salutes in the chat. I'll do some. I think that's my favorite emoji. We salute you, Omen86. Bringer of gifts. Awesome stuff, dude. So that actually brings us up to 131 members, guys. Colossal day today. So let me update this one more time. And we will move on to the next topic. I apologize if I'm going long here with the thank you, but I mean, geez, man, can you blame me? It's not every day. It's not every day Omen86 comes in and drops 120 bomb. Not every day that happens. Holy shit, that's a lot of Astrobot salutes. That's awesome. That's like a wall of Astrobot salutes. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Gift Omen your copy of Astrobot. That's off limits, bro. That's my Astrobot. All right. Saying boss isn't even waking up. I know, dude, we're going to have to. So before the stream ends, I'm going to have to feed the beast. I'm going to have to owe you guys some reps. So we still got more to come. Something tells me I'm not going to be able to listen. Don't worry. If you're a little bit annoyed that I seemingly might not be able to, I might not be able to cover all the topics on the stream that I wanted to. I think I had like 6 listed out. No worries. I will have a video going out later tonight that covers all these topics. So if I don't cover it here in the stream, this is something I'm really trying to get serious about. I'm not saying anything more than that, but I'm sure you've noticed I've been putting out more videos on the channel, trying to get very serious about producing more news videos, covering these topics. So that way, because you never know what to expect in the streams. Sometimes I get a little bit distracted. Sometimes I go on unhinged rants about God knows what. So I'm trying to make sure I produce that content for people who just want to know the information and know the facts and what's going on. So no worries, okay? All right. Before we move on here, I got to still just have a couple more super chats to read. But before I do that, do me a favor, guys. Hit the like button. If you're feeling good right now, if you're feeling hyped like I am, hit that like button. We're sitting at over 260 likes. You guys are absolutely crushing it today. I want to see a big push. Big push. Let's see if we can get to 300 likes. I think we can do it. I think we can. Kane Z7. I think I was reading your super chat. You said this best game ever made is very relative. Like, I did enjoy Black Myth Wukong as much as everyone else, so much so that I stopped playing it. It didn't click for me. Absolutely. Yeah. I think when a person says, I think this is the best game PlayStation ever made, or this is one of the best games I've ever played, for any game out there, we always have to view it through the lens of, well, that's just your opinion, man. You know, like, it's interesting, I think, and it can inform you where it's like, what it really comes down to is finding people and following people whose opinions and feelings on games align with yours. So if you follow certain people, like, I'll be honest, like, I don't follow Jeff Grubb closely. I follow him for like any certain rumors or whatever he may have. I don't really know his opinions on games though, right? So if there's somebody out there that follows Jeff Grubb very closely and like aligns with his opinions on games, and you know, you read that tweet of his and Jeff Grubb says, "Oh, this is the best game PlayStation's ever made." Chances are that person is going to be like, "Wow, holy shit, okay, I need to play this game then." To whereas if, you know, if I'm just coming across it, again, I don't know Jeff Grubb in that way where I don't know his opinions on games. I mean, I think, wow, that's very high praise. But yeah, it's one of these things where it all comes down to who you're listening to and who you align with and who you tend to agree with in the gaming space. And I think that that's really what people have started to do is when everybody has like their kind of go-to reviewer, you know, or a couple of go-to reviewers. And so I will say that in the case of Astro Bot, though, it is getting universal praise where it's like every single review is positive. So it, to me, is one of these things where at the bare minimum, when you see a game sitting at a 94 on Metacritic with 100% of the reviews being positive, not a single one mixed or a single one negative, I think at the bare minimum, what it tells you is that if you do take a chance on this game, you won't hate it. You know, like, you're not going to hate it and you're not going to regret it. It might not be a 94 to you. It might not be a game of the year for you. It might not be the best, certainly not the best game you ever played. But at the very least, it should be a good time. That, to me, when I see a game that's really, really, really high rated like that, that's what it tells me, is that there is something here that no matter what, when you walk away from it, you should be saying, well, that was at the very least good, you know? That's at the lowest end. At the highest end, you'll walk away saying, that was incredible, one of the best things I ever experienced. Hopefully that makes sense. That's why I do think reviews, they're not the end-all be-all. They're not the end-all be-all, but I've said many times before, they do help. When you see a really low-reviewed game, you know, you could end up loving it, but there's just a much higher chance that you're going to run into flaws that you notice that make it not as good for you. And so, yeah, man, we always have to understand that when we read what other people are saying about games, we're just reading opinions. And I've always encouraged people, as much as I say that reviews can be useful, I've always encouraged people, go with your gut. It's not that your gut can't be wrong, but most of the time it's not. When you see gameplay of a game, 9 times out of 10, you automatically know if you're interested or not. And really all it comes down to is the details, right? Like, I've seen like a game like Phantom Blade Zero. People look at that gameplay and they're like, this looks incredible. Like, this is like one of the best looking games I've ever seen. Like, I kind of can't believe this is what the actual gameplay is like. And so like when I see people's reaction to this game, it's like, yeah, the gameplay at this point, it's very clear that it's going to be good. But it really just comes down to, is it going to be as good? Like, is it going to be that good? Like 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10 good. And that's really what people want to know. And it's just, it goes the other way too. When you see a game that's, you know, you see it all the time, a really low reviewed game, when people go into it, it's like, is it going to be as bad? Like, I know it's going to be bad and it's going to have problems, but how bad are we talking here? And so I think it's like the devil's in the details, really. We also have Alpha Spooker. He says, Naughty Dog thinks Jack and Daxter is beneath them. They are pretentious. Good on Asobi and Insomniac for keeping the old ways alive. I don't know. Have they said? I don't know if they've said that. I do get where you're coming from, Alpha Spooker, where it's like, I do get this vibe from modern day Naughty Dog that they believe they need to keep kind of like pushing boundaries in the industry. And because of that, it inherently has an air of pretentious, pretension. Is that a word? Is pretension a word? I have to look this up now really quick. I'm sorry. I don't think pretension is a word. Wait, no, pretension. Wait, is this a word? The laying of claim to something. A claim or title to something. It is a word. I don't think it's the right word to use though. Pretentiousness. Is that how you would say it? Pretentiousness? Anyway, I'm getting really hung up here. Is that really how you're supposed to say it? Pretentiousness? Shit, man. Yeah, dude, apparently the word pretension, the definition of the word pretension is laying claim to something. So I don't, that's not what I expected. I'm getting very distracted. I apologize. But what I'm trying to say is there is a air of pretentiousness with Naughty Dog kind of taking that mantle where it's like, yeah, our next game has to be pushing boundaries. And I guess in a way, Naughty Dog probably does feel like trying to make a new Jack and Daxter game probably doesn't facilitate that as well. And they probably feel like they wouldn't be able to push new boundaries or push the envelope with a Jack and Daxter game. And so it's one of these things where I can understand people's frustration where it's like, well, it shouldn't be about that. It should be just about making fun games, right? And it is true. It is true that Neil Druckmann was the one who said we don't use the word fun when we talk about The Last of Us 2. And it's like, boy, was he not kidding. But yeah, I mean, games don't just have to be fun, as I some people might disagree with that, but games can be intense. Games can be nerve-wracking. Games can be an adrenaline rush. Well, I mean, I guess if you find those things can be translated to fun. I guess what I mean to say is like, games can be all sorts of things. And I just think that Naughty Dog has basically decided that their games are going to be, at least for now, high intensity, high adrenaline, high impact. It's not to say that games like Jack and Daxter and any of these games we're talking about, it's not to say that these games can't achieve this either. They can, but they just do so going down a very different path, So I do get what you're saying, Alpha Spooker, but I do think that Sony will at some point likely return to Jack and Daxter in the future. And we have SDO saying Sony reminded the industry they're still top dog. Well, I mean, I think Sony basically reminded the industry they reminded them all in the course of 2 weeks, hey, we can still fuck up. We can still become a laughingstock, but we can still be top dog too. So it's just crazy. It's like, in a matter of 2 weeks, we've seen Sony achieve the lowest of low and the highest of high. And I don't think I've ever seen something quite like it. It's very fascinating. I'm happy it went in this order, though. If I had to choose, I'd prefer to go through the low first and then the high, not the high and then the low. Cypherpunk says 43% of Switch users are aged 25 to 35. The kid thing is always a cop-out. People just want to play good games. Fortnite is most played on PlayStation. So we all kids. That's absolutely true. Yeah. That's why I'm saying, like, I don't know that the best way to talk about it is to say this is geared for kids or this is a kids thing, because it's just not. Like, if what you're saying is true, which I'm assuming it is, I'll just take your word for it. 43% of Switch users are aged 25 to 35. Yeah, that's nearly 50%. And those are grown adults, not young adult. Well, I mean, I guess it depends on what you consider young adults, but, you know, they're not like, 17, 18, 19, where sometimes people consider like 17, 18, 19-year-olds like still kids, right? These are grown adults. And yeah, you're right. People just want fun games no matter what at the end of the day. Like, they just want games that will evoke some type of enjoyment. Again, it depends on what your definition of fun is. This is where if we get too deep into the weeds, it's ultimately just subjective, where it's like, hey, do you think like, blowing somebody's head off with a shotgun in The Last of Us Part 2, is that fun? And somebody might be like, yeah, that's a great time. It sounds weird to put it that way, but it's something, it's definitely something. But I think most people, when we think of just like, oh, I'm just playing games to have fun, it's just about basically established gameplay loops that it's not about the graphical fidelity. It's not about, the animation work. It's not about the voice acting or the mocap or the cutscenes or, even the environments. It's, at the end of the day, it's really just about like, well, let's face it, man. What type of chemical reactions is this game causing in your brain? Like, what's it? What type of chemical reactions is it leading to? I know I'm getting like, we're getting into weird territory there, but that's basically what it is. Like, when you play a fun Nintendo game, like a Nintendo game that's extremely rewarding, like, that's the thing, dude. Nintendo has figured out, like, how do we get your dopamine, like, how do we get the dopamine spikes in just the right order to basically make you not addicted, but just to like feel like this game was as rewarding and satisfying as it possibly could be. That's ultimately what it boils down to. And that's where I feel like when we talk about these games that people would kind of label as, oh, they're for kids, it's like, well, aesthetically, they're maybe not the most mature looking things, or the most real looking things. But in terms of what they're doing to your brain when you engage with them, oh, that's universal. Yeah. No, that's not about age at that point. And that, I think, is like a really weird and strange way for me to basically just say Cypherpunk that, yes, people just want to feel when they are engaging with a video game good about engaging with that video game. They want to be left with a feeling of when they put the controller or the device down that, man, I can't wait to get back and play more and maybe finish it, or unlock something new. That's all it boils down to. That's what video games are. Everything else is just icing on the cake. And don't get me wrong, there can be a lot of icing, and the icing can go a long way in making that cake taste even better. So, anyway, I did see that pushing polygons. Yeah. I'm glad they're doing that. Waylark says Flight Simulator has a 91. Would we like that? I mean, you're using the term we, and that's where I have to. Well, let me ask you this, Waylark. What's interesting about the way you phrase that question is, do you believe I speak for the entirety of the PlayStation audience? Do you believe I speak for my audience? Do I speak for my audience? I try not to do that. Realistically, what I will say is that if Flight Simulator was a PlayStation game, there would definitely be some PlayStation fans that would be like, this is amazing, that otherwise wouldn't. But not many. I'll be honest, I don't think it would be that many. And Goat Gaming comes in and drops a 5 bomb. Goat Gaming, the master of putting out false info on Twitter. Goat Gaming, I don't know how I feel about you, bro. I appreciate the membership gifts, though. That's very kind of you. Very generous. That brings us up to 136. But man, this guy's doing some crazy shit on Twitter. What are you doing out there, bro? Get it together, man. I came across one of your tweets the other day. I'm like, ain't no way. Ain't no way. It has to, I mean, that's a joke at this point, right? Right? But thank you for the 5 membership gifts. I'm going to add that to the counter here. We're at 136 now. So, again, you guys are killing it today. Omen86 with another super chat. He says, Astro Bot gave the starting shot. The nuke is loaded. Omen86 is expecting something big, bro. Omen86 is expecting Sony to drop some kind of nuke in the coming weeks, potentially. I don't know, man. I do feel like Astrobot is the starting shot. I do agree with that. I gotta see, though, if this big major... I gotta see if this big major announcement that we're kind of thinking about, if it's actually going to happen. I believe the timing is right, dude. I will say, not to get anybody overhyped. It's hard not to feel excited, but the Pro is coming, dude. The Pro is apparently, we're going to talk about that in just a moment. I'm failing to get to these topics in time, but the Pro is apparently coming next week. Like, that's when it's going to be revealed. And I just have this mindset, man, where it's like, Sony, you have to reveal some games for the Pro. You have to. You don't have to reveal all the games, but you gotta show something alongside it that's new. You have to. So the timing does align. And Goat Gaming dropped a super chat as well. Thank you for that, man. You're saying gaming media is still saying that Astrobot hasn't saved PlayStation's 2024. Is there still time to recover and ultimately beat out Xbox this year? Is this the right Goat Gaming? I feel very confused. Because that's like such a rational, reasonable thing to say. Like, I'm genuinely getting confused at this point if I'm confusing this individual with somebody else. Well, either way, I will answer the question. It's a good question. Gaming media is still saying that Astrobot hasn't saved PlayStation 2024. Is there still time to recover and ultimately beat out Xbox this year? Well, I mean, if we're talking about it in I guess it really comes down to what are we gauging here? You get what I mean? Like, what qualifies as winning versus losing in terms of, we're talking about Xbox this year and we're talking about PlayStation this year? Because one way we could look at it, you're saying guarantee whatever you say will be used in a future tweet. Well, here's one way we can look at it. If we're looking at it through the lens of, well, the winning and the losing is determined by the amount of games released and the quality of those games released, then I think, honestly, Sony might win that one, right? They might win that one. But it's a tough one because, I mean, we're seeing the lowest of low and the highest of high from PlayStation. When it comes to Microsoft, again, viewing it through the lens of games, which is the most important thing at the end of the day. Palworld, Hellblade 2, Indiana Jones in December, Flight Simulator in November. I need some help here, guys. Are there any other... Stalker's not this year. Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, see, that really makes things messy. Shem says, are we counting Activision output? I mean, at that point, dude, I don't even know how we compare those. You get what I'm saying? Like, this is why I'm saying when we're viewing it through the frame of, or the lens of winning versus losing, I don't even know. I'm going to say they all win, honestly. Like, I'm going to say that Microsoft wins because they basically said, Sony, we're not trying to beat you anymore, man. We're just trying to make money. And I think because of that, Microsoft found their own way to win. They're going to be dropping Call of Duty this year, which is going to be easily the best-selling game of the year. They dropped a couple of their own games in like Hellblade 2 and Flight Simulator, or they're going to. They had a really good showcase. They did have to raise the price of Game Pass, but people are still, like, hey, man, Call of Duty and Game Pass. That's cool. And they also released some of their games on PlayStation to make more money. So I feel like the truth is there is no more winning or losing. There is no more serious competition between Microsoft and Sony anymore. There just isn't, because Microsoft is getting exactly what they want, and that is that they want money. And they are now going to get copious amounts of money through publishing on PlayStation, owning Call of Duty, and having their own thing that they're doing with their own studios and Game Pass. And when we talk about Sony, I mean, Sony, I would say, like, to kind of answer the other part of the question you're saying, is there still time to recover? I'll say that recovery, the way I'm viewing it, that recovery is not to beat Xbox. It's not about that, because there's nothing really for Sony to chase, to be honest. Like, what does Sony chase? What is Xbox doing that Sony should chase right now? Maybe somebody could say they should try to improve PlayStation Plus. Yeah, that'd be great. But realistically, what Sony needs to do is they need to chase their own fan base. That's what I think. I think when we talk about Sony recovering, I think Sony has had a stronger year than people give them credit for. They've also had a devastating situation with Concord, which people I don't think will too soon forget. But they need to chase the fan base, and they recover by giving the fans what they've been asking for and treating the fans the way that we've been asking them to treat us, which is like, can you do, can you show us some more games? Can you give us a roadmap? Can you generate some kind of excitement and goodwill, please? And I think that Astro Bot is the beginning of that. I think that's kind of where what Omen said. Omen said Astro Bot is the starting shot. I think that, yes, Astro Bot is the beginning of, well, thank you, Sony. This is what we've been asking for, right? Like a really solid first-party game that fans can rally around and feel good about and enjoy and talk about, and now we're going to get a PS5 Pro and maybe a State of Play, and we're going to see some Death Stranding too. It's like, all right, yeah, we're getting things moving along here. And I don't think any of that has to come at the detriment of Xbox, where it's like, yeah, so like, what now, Xbox? It's like, well, I'm pretty sure they're going to be doing their own shit too. Like, they just announced Indiana Jones for PlayStation. Like, I don't, like, again, Microsoft's like, yeah, we hope you sell more consoles, Sony, because we could use those sales too. It's a good question, and I do appreciate that question, actually, because I do think I'm still seeing a lot of clashing, between the different fan bases, and I guess that's always going to exist. But for me, right now, this is about Sony recovering with their own fans and like getting back to the basics. I've never seen the PlayStation fan base so down when during a situation like we saw with Concord. I've never seen that. I mean, I wasn't really there for the PS3 days. Like, I know Sony really fucked up with the PS3 at the beginning, and there was the 2011 outage and some nightmare scenarios for sure. I wasn't really there at that time, or at least not paying attention at that time. So I don't know how the PlayStation fan base, how down they were. But I've never seen the PlayStation fan base so down during a situation like I did with Concord. But at the same time, it's like a rubber band, because it's like, yeah, they're up now. Carl G says, I'm up now. Yeah, this is God, man, it just goes to show, if Sony can make a recovery by releasing Astro Bot and Astro Bot being a talk of the town right now and getting rave reviews, if they can do that after what just happened with Concord, what does that tell you? To me, it tells us that when I stated previously that Sony can mess up, and they will mess up, and they will piss people off, and they will frustrate fans. But when they do decide, you know what, we're going to do it right this time, and we're going to get back at it, it's all it takes. I said earlier this year, all it takes is one good showcase. And you know why I said that? I said that because of Xbox. I said Xbox had a great showcase, and they won people back, dude. Not everybody, but way more people than they had previously. Like, people are feeling good about Xbox now. And so they're, we can talk about, well, what about this and what about that? It's like, what about it? They had a good showcase. The people are hyped. People believe in the future of Xbox now, and they're hyped about it. They're hyped about some of the games they're showing now. That's all it takes, man. That's all it takes. Like when the core fans that have been requesting this type of stuff for a long time, when they feel like they're finally answered, when they feel like Sony or Microsoft or whoever finally is like, all right, guys, we heard you, and we're ready to deliver, right? We're ready to at least show you what we're going to deliver. When that happens, it changes everything overnight. These companies know this. The people who work in marketing at these companies, they know this. And we see it proven time and time again. Yeah, the rebounds are real, dude. So, to wrap this up, because I'm going really long with this one super chat, but to wrap this up, when it comes to talking about, well, the competition between Sony and Microsoft, while simultaneously talking about how is each company doing individually, we are basically in unprecedented times where the competition is lower than it's ever been across all three platform holders. Nintendo has the Switch 2 coming up, which I'm not, it's something Sony needs to pay attention to, but it's not a direct threat to the PlayStation console. It's just not. And everybody agrees because Nintendo's doing their own unique thing with the Switch 2. Then you look at Xbox. Xbox, they're doing the craziest shit where they're just like, yeah, we're going to start going multi-platform. We bought ABK. Game Pass is still the future. And, if we sell like, a million consoles in a year, so be it. So then you got Sony and they're like, well, we're still kind of doing the regular traditional home console thing. We're going to stick to that. We're going to experiment and dabble a little bit. It's just so interesting to think that the competition is probably the lowest it's ever been, but the ability to rebound rapidly is the highest it's ever been. So, I don't know. I don't know if that really answers the question, but those are just my thoughts on it, I guess. PlayStation Pete, in all caps, says, Astro Bot Game of the Year, 94 Metacritic. PlayStation Pete is hyped. PlayStation Pete is ready to platinum Astro Bot. He's ready to platinum it. I'm going to platinum it. Who's platinuming Astro Bot? And we have Waylark, and he says, was just using what you said, a game with an over 90 score would be liked by the majority of gamers. Yeah, I know. I tend to dive deeper, psychologically speaking, into these things than is necessary. I'm going to try to get better at maybe not doing that, just because I feel like it's like, how far down the rabbit hole do you want to go when we're discussing opinions? And that's where it's like, you know what, maybe I don't want to go that far down because it just creates a non-answer. You know what I mean? But I do get where you're coming from, Waylark. I do understand where everybody's coming from with the different takes they have. Usually. I mean, you got to have a pretty wild take for me to not understand where you're coming from. Again, I exist on Twitter a lot of the time. So a lot of the takes you guys have here you sound like freaking Einstein geniuses. after some of the shit I read. You know what I mean? Where it's like, okay, my brain is totally rotted, so can only go up from here. But yeah, most of you guys, from what I read with your super chats, you're usually coming from a place of usually logic. I do occasionally get some chats where it's like, oh, okay, I don't know. It's a little blinding, but yeah, I'm waiting to get my limited edition Astro controller as well. I'm assuming that's going to arrive tomorrow. Warden says 4 months heavy. That's all he says. He says 4 months heavy. Carlos says, MBG, check the PlayStation blog post about the 30th anniversary. By the way, thanks to Omen86 and everyone that supports the channel. I got a free membership with a Mark Cerny emote. Well, that's, yeah, I'm going to go check that out in just a second here. I'm running way behind on the topics. I do apologize. And Carlos, he thanks Omen86 for the membership gift. Cypherpunk says, feel like we'll use GTA marketing as a win. I mean, that's the thing though, like, people need to understand they're not going to, and you know what? I'll see what the monitor boss is doing. Let me say this. I want to make this clear, Cypherpunk, because I think that this is what's leading to some confusion. We need to understand that there are two different types of conversations that exist. Okay? Both of them talk about what PlayStation is doing and how good PlayStation is doing, or how good something Sony is doing, how good it will be for the PlayStation brand and or fan base. But the big difference is that one of these conversations is isolated to just focusing on PlayStation, the PlayStation fan base, and the PlayStation product. And the other conversation is focused on not only that, but how it will impact Microsoft. And I don't mind either of these conversations as long as they're, reasonable and people aren't getting crazy about it. But what we're going to see as we go forward, Microsoft is going to bring more of their games to PlayStation. Microsoft is going to continue to de-emphasize their own console. As this happens, people are going to begin to realize it's going to be very, very, very hard to have that second conversation where let's talk about Sony and what's going on there and how their business is run and how it's going and how the fan base is. It's going to be really hard to do that when, again, the competition continues to dwindle and become non-existent. And I don't think this is a bad thing. In terms of the conversation, I want to emphasize that. In terms of what it means for the overall outcome of the industry, I'm not here to talk about that. We will find out together, and I have no control over that. It is time to feed the beast, by the way.
Boast, do you read me? It's time to feed the beast.
There you go, bro. I promised as soon as he woke up, I'd get. He was asking right away. But I'm just saying this, Cypherpunk, because what I want to be understood is you mentioned GTA 6 marketing. Like, we're going to use GTA 6 marketing as a win. No. We're not going to use it as a win because that's the thing. Like, will other people on the internet, will they use it as a win? Will they use GTA 6 marketing alongside PlayStation as a weapon and ammunition to fire at Xbox and Xbox fans? Yes. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to speak for you guys. I would hope you wouldn't. But no, for me, that is simply, you know what I want? I want to see the PlayStation console continue to succeed. The reason why I want to see the PlayStation console continue to succeed is because that's where I like to play. That's my favorite place to play. And that's where I've been playing pretty much my whole life. So I don't want to see it fall. I don't want to see it slow down. I don't want to see it go down. I don't want to see it become, whoa, hey. God damn, boss. Now you're just mean, bro. He just swiped at Luna. What a jerk. I'm giving Luna these treats, and I gave Boss a different batch of treats down on the floor here. He's getting really territorial with these treats now. But what I'm trying to say is that there is no... Like, I'm interested in hearing about how the marketing rights for GTA 6 helps the PlayStation console, because I want to see it do well. Not because I care about how much money Sony makes, but because I want to see the console remain relevant, and I want to see it get good support, so that way in the future I know we're going to get more PlayStation consoles and I can continue to enjoy my gaming life on the console, right? And I can keep buying the consoles, you know, for many years to come, and that's how it'll be. That's why. Again, it's kind of hard to talk about the type of damage that GTA 6 marketing rights could do. You know, Sony having GTA 6 marketing rights, the kind of damage that could do to the Xbox console. And it's like, dude, the Xbox console is failing to sell like even 1 million a quarter. Like, it doesn't matter. It's over. You know? Like, it literally doesn't matter. So it's not really about that anymore. And I just think that people need to kind of realize what's going on here. Anyway, I feel like you guys are roping me into this goddamn console war stuff, trying to celebrate Astro. No, I'm just kidding. Now, I appreciate the questions or the super chats. We also have Doolin Jones with a very generous super chat here. He says, we need a special 30th anniversary edition PS5 Pro like we had in the past with the PS4 Pro. Sony PlayStation got some awesome 30th anniversary celebration plans. Astro Bot, can't say how many times I have to say some people ain't listening. Game of the year. You did say that, Doolin Jones. Yeah, it will be funny. If this game does win Game of the Year, you are out here. A lot of people are, but with your super chats, you're like, Astrobot's going to be Game of the Year, bro. Yeah, I'm in agreement. The 30th anniversary for PlayStation is a very big deal. It's a massive milestone, and I really, 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 really hope that they do a special limited edition 30th anniversary DualSense and plates that you can buy to put on your PlayStation. I really, really hope they do that, because, man, if they don't, I'm going to freak out. Because it's how do you not do that? You know, I feel like that's a must. They didn't announce it yet, but I feel like they're going to have to do it. So I'm in agreement with you, Doolin. I want to see some awesome stuff done for the 30th anniversary. And we're going to, when I can get through the rest of these super chats, I promise we will cover it. So thank you so much for the super chat, Doolin. We also have Omen86 with another chat here. He says, Sony has bangers up their sleeve that nobody has ever seen yet. They aren't desperate to prove themselves. Xbox is blowing all loads at once. Oh, man. Oof. Then what? Well, that's the thing, Omen. I've talked about this extensively. I think Microsoft is actually taking the strategy that Sony implemented last generation, where they are basically coming out with an onslaught of reveals and game announcements that are still quite a few years away. Like, dude, I remember there were games revealed during their 2021 showcase that we literally haven't heard from since and are clearly still many years away. And it just seems like Microsoft was more comfortable taking that approach. Well, frankly, because they kind of needed to, right? They needed to create as much excitement around their game announcements due to how many studios they were acquiring, where when you acquire all this stuff, people are going to be asking, where are the games? You know, like, if you have all these studios, where are all the games? But the one thing you're saying here that I am in agreement with, you're saying they don't have to prove themselves. That's the thing, man. I've been hard on some of the mistakes that Sony has made because I've been saying, like, I want to see them do something to correct it, like a roadmap, some new announcements, something other than this, because, well, in my opinion, it's like that's something that's going to speak directly to the fan base. But you're right. They aren't actually desperate. And this kind of, what we're seeing today proves that they don't need to be desperate. They just need to be skillful and thoughtful in their execution, right? I think that's what it really boils down to. And Matt Fu comes in. My God, you guys are going crazy today. Matt Fu comes in dropping a 20 bomb on you.
Holy shit.
And he says, hey guys, hi guys, what did I miss? I've been reading a lot of super chats. You missed 120 memberships gifted by Omen. And basically talking a lot about Astro. But Matt, thank you so much for the 20 bomb, bro. Let me see where that brings us. I think we crossed the 150 member mark today. Sheesh. You guys are absolutely destroying it right now. Good stuff, bro. Matt Fu with the, he's got the Astro Bot salute with some W's. Love to see it. So we're at 156 members now. Huge day for sure. Still waiting for the notification that my copy of Astro Bot arrived. All right. So 156, and Omen86 drops another single gift. Man, Omen is all over the place today with these gifts. He'll drop a 50, he'll drop a 20, he'll drop a single. Omen will drop a single, bro. He'll do it. And Hellbound 1981 with another 10 bomb. Sorry if I'm like blowing up my mic by screaming into it, but goddamn, Hellbound comes in. The legend. You guys are going crazy. I can't even keep track at this point, man. Good shit. Good shit. Full-blown member train. Full-blown member train. Love to see it. So, yeah, just a reminder to anybody who's receiving a membership gift, go check out the members tab. There's plenty of members content. Today, because we hit the goal, we're going to be doing an Astro Bot stream right after this stream ends. As long as, unless something goes terribly wrong, which it shouldn't. So we're at 167 now, guys. 167 members. Huge numbers today. And also want to give a shout out to everybody dropping super chats as well. I don't mean to make it seem like I'm like less appreciative of super chats or anything like that. I'm just more engaged with them because they're usually like questions or statements, but I appreciate that too. Any type of fan funding you guys can do, it means a lot. I'm only able to run this channel and produce this content because you guys make it possible. So thank you so much. We have an amazing community here. Hanzo, you're saying sometimes Amazon tells me they're delivering it early to then only just drop it off on release day. Well, I really hope that's not the situation here because this has never happened to me. It says it's literally out for delivery right now. Like it's out for delivery. And it says the latest it should arrive is about an hour and a half from now. So if that happens, I'm going to be very depressed. I'll still do the member stream, of course. I just would have to do it tomorrow instead. But I would be very depressed because it's like, bro, how are you going to do me like that? But yeah, Omen, just to wrap up the super chat you dropped here, man. You mentioned that Sony has bangers up their sleeve that nobody's ever seen yet. Yeah, I think that's what's crazy, dude, is we're seeing Astro Bot come out and basically become the highest rated game of the year. And I don't think, I mean, it really does make you question, like, maybe this is why they decided we didn't really need to do a big showcase yet and show all the games yet, because we have this game coming right now. And Matt Fu comes in and drops another 10 bomb.
Enough from me. We're gonna have the games do our talking.
Matt Fu with another 10 bomb, bro, bringing us over 175 members. We're at 177 members. Guys, we are on the doorstep of 200 members. This is crazy. You guys are crazy. Huge, huge day, man. Love to see it, bro. I think my favorite soundbite is that Gopher scream. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I just don't know that it's the most appropriate soundbite, but it is my favorite. Omen86 came in today like...
Kept you waiting, huh?
I'm saying do it again, MBG. I gotta find... I think I want to make like half of my sound bites, truthfully. I think I just want to make them like different screams. Like I should probably get like the... What's that one super famous scream? It's in like every movie, like the Willem scream or something like that. I should get that one and play it sometimes. The Wilhelm scream, is that how? Yeah, everybody knows that one. I should get that. We have Prince G here, member for 9 months, and he says Xbox badly wished for Astro Bot to come to their bag box series Instinct and Soup. You know, bro, why you gotta do this to me? Like, I go on this whole spiel about how, like, man, no console warring. Let's just chill. Let's just celebrate the game. Prince G comes in. He's like, yo, them Xbots on the bag box. They wish they had Astro. And I'm just like, yeah, man. Yep. Prince G, let's keep it civil now, man. Let's keep it civil. Civil and cordial. There doesn't have to be any violence today. Today can just be a good day. I will say this, though. I genuinely do wonder if there are Xbox players who don't really care for PlayStation that much, or haven't really been paying much attention to PlayStation, or just like feeling pretty down on PlayStation. I do wonder how much a game like Astro Bot, like it getting a 94, I wonder how much it influences them. You know, here's another question, dude. How are Nintendo fans feeling about Astro Bot? You know, like, do we think Astro Bot is going to start maybe pulling in some Nintendo fans to consider buying a PS5 for this game? I do wonder. Saying they probably don't care. I don't know. Sony's maybe really trying to pull in that Nintendo audience. They're doing so in both ways here. They got their own 3D platformer, and they're also putting Lego Horizon on the Switch. Planet Schlorpian says, for every L, Concord, there's a W, Astro Bot with PlayStation. Yeah. Wait, hold on. Is that an Amazon truck? Hold on. No, that was not an Amazon truck. It was just a truck. You know, I'm like sitting here waiting, like, where's it at? Where's my copy at, bro? Let me see. We have Adama the Dragoon says, couldn't think of something funny to say, so instead I'll say thanks for all the fun, MBG in chat. Y'all are cool. What's nice of you, Adama the Dragoon. I appreciate your kind words, and we appreciate having you here, man. Nuke being very creepy in the chat right now, saying, are you home alone? Nuke's just straight up in the chat like, MBG, you home alone? Hmm? Yeah, I'm just home alone, patiently waiting for my Astro Bot copy. We have Racket Raccoon saying, so are we expecting September to be a big reveal month? I am. Yeah. I am. I'm not saying to expect the biggest, like, I mean, look, Omen today has expressed he's expecting a nuke. I could see it happening, but I'm not necessarily 100% expecting it. I don't want, listen, I did get excited for last year, or yeah, guys, it feels so long ago. I did get overly excited for last year's showcase, and it, you know, it kind of bit me in the ass a bit, as I think it did many PlayStation fans. But I just feel like the energy might be a little bit different this time. I'm not saying we're going to get a showcase, but I think we're going to get some big reveals. Again, I think it starts with Astro. I think Sony's aiming for consistency. That's my guess, is like each week, I don't know if it'll be for the entirety of the holiday season, but each week they want to have some good news or just something that's not bad, right? I think the last year was basically Sony like readjusting and restructuring their business, and mainly being like, you know, having to deal with some of the negative financial outcomes and having to make adjustments. And I'm hoping that September basically marks the beginning of, okay, we did what we had to do. We cleaned up most of the junk. We're ready to get back to it, you know? That's my hope. Joshua Reese, and I did see your direct donation, buddy. I'm just going to finish up. I only have a couple more super chats, and then I'll read the direct donation. Joshua Reese, a member for 9 months, says, MBG, did you see Black Myth now has sold 18 million copies? Yeah, that was one of the topics I had listed to talk about today. Don't know that we're going to have time for it, but I did cover it in a video that I'm going to be releasing later today. Yeah, that is... I can't believe that. Like, truthfully, I can't believe they sold 18 million copies in what, 3 weeks? I can't believe that. I mean, that's yeah, and they announced it's getting DLC as well, which is not surprising. But that is believe me when I tell you, like, there are certain video game publishers punching air right now looking at that. Like, absolutely. But yeah, that's incredible. That team is probably like, again, I don't even know how you handle that level of success. Sony's going to buy a Chinese developer at some point. Well, yeah, Sony is definitely trying to tap into the Chinese market through the China Hero project. So, you know, if the first team out of the gate with a big successful AAA game can do numbers like this, I think Sony made the right call trying to invest in this region. Omen86 with another super chat says, today we celebrate the hate for Concord and the love for Astro. I hope it gives a clear signal to Sony to think twice about their path forward. I 100% agree, Omen86. What's interesting is I basically said this same thing. I want to refer to a tweet that I put out today, guys, because I got some interesting replies that I wasn't necessarily expecting to receive. See if I can find it. I said Sony can learn a lot from the last 2 weeks. Astro Bot releases to critical acclaim with a 94 Metacritic, and the praise is focused on the fun factor of the game. Concord releases to an unprecedented level of backlash and criticism and gets shut down after just 2 weeks. And, you know, I was kind of surprised that there were a few people who, like, this person says Concord wasn't a bad game. And I replied by saying, what happened to Concord goes beyond a game just being good or bad. A failure on that level is something a company literally cannot afford to ignore. And then this person says they didn't ignore it, which is why they pulled the game and refunded people. Do you have a personal problem with Concord? And I simply replied saying, no, I'm just glad they made the right decision in this instance. And I was just surprised to see, like, there are, you know, I understand that when something is hated on a lot, people can get annoyed by the amount of hate. But I do sincerely mean what I've said in that, like, Sony needs to look at, I mean, seriously, man, look at the last 2 weeks. Look at the last 2 weeks. What did we learn? What did we learn here, Sony? The data's right there. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I don't know that Astro Bot's going to be a 10 million seller. And I want to say that this one person, they replied by saying a 94 Metacritic doesn't pay the bills. The game needs to sell well. And my response to that is, while that is true, a $200 million 8-year development live service game selling 25,000 copies not only doesn't pay the bills, but leads to massive losses. And see, that's the key. That's the key. There are going to be people, you know what? I'm not going to say people. Sony has created a situation where they make people concerned that, like, if a game doesn't sell a massive, copious amount of copies, it's going to be deemed a failure. I don't think that's what they're, like, we're not going to see that with Astro Bot. Astro Bot was made with 60 people. It was made in 3 years. And Sony already told their investors they don't consider it a tentpole title. So their sales estimate is going to be much more modest compared to what they would consider a tentpole title. Doesn't mean it's not going to sell well. It just means that the point is it will make Sony money. It might not make them the most money. It might not make them all the money, but it will make them money. And that's why I'm trying to say, like, if we need to zoom out all the way back, if I'm Sony and I just need to zoom out as far as possible and get the broadest possible view, it simply comes down to this. One game and one idea of a game lost you an unfathomable amount of money that you now have to just deal with. Another is going to make you some money. Even just on that level, holy shit, hold on. That's not real. Concord on eBay selling for $20K? Hold on. What? What? Nuh-uh. This can't be real. Hold on. $100. What? Dude, I knew it was... What? Concord, $500. Hold on, I am seeing some here, $76, $86. What's up with these people that price it at $500? The controller, $350. Dude, Concord PS5 display delisted and recalled. Rare display. Somebody clearly took it from this took it from a GameStop or something, and they're selling it for $200. That's incredible. All the controllers are being listed for like $350. What, dude? There is a Concord controller on here, unopened, 46 bids, over $1,000. Somebody is trying to sell a copy of Concord for $50,000. What the fuck is going on, dude? That's insane. Okay, I'm going to be honest, dude. I don't think any one of these products are going to sell for 20. Dude, oh my God. Could you imagine selling a copy of Concord for $25,000? That's crazy. Thinking 20 years Concord might be a rare and obscure game. I think it will be. Dude, I think the price of this stuff is going to go up. I said that. When I heard that the game was ceasing sale, I was like, bro, buy a physical copy now. Because it's going to become, it's going to eventually be worth money, just because it's a unique. Not, of course, people aren't going to care that you can't play it, but it's going to be. I think it will be a collector's item. I do. It's in a very unique position. Luckily for me, I already secured a physical copy as well as a controller, so I'm set. I'll be cashing in eventually. Be on the lookout. Be on the lookout. But what the hell was I saying? Yeah, I was just saying Sony, like Omen86, your super chat. It's very obvious. It's very obvious. Listen, you know where to go at this point, Sony. But the reality is they still have fair games. They still have not Concord. They still have Marathon. I don't expect them to give up on live service. They're not going to give up on live service, but they need to. I think Concord has taught them a very hard, but very valuable lesson that you need to be much more thoughtful in what you choose to invest in the live service space. Much more thoughtful. So we'll see what happens. But yes, Astro tells them everything, right? Tells them everything. PlayStation Pete says, Google says Astro Bot beat Mario at his own game. Google's crazy, bro. Shadowlink, you're saying 5K right now for both. If you're Shadowlink, if you're serious, I got it, bro. I got the product. I got the product, man. I got like 10 copies of Concord, 3 controllers. Anime for Entertainment says Sony at least needs to announce one massive game at the State of Play, like Ghost of Tsushima 2 or Santa Monica's new IP. That I'm in agreement with. I'm starting to think that Sony might start revealing like one major first party thing per State of Play. I think that might be how they choose to handle it, because they've kind of been doing that. If you think about it, in January, they announced Fizzant, which is a major PlayStation Studios announcement. It was huge. And then in the May State of Play, they announced Astro Bot, brand new, out in 3 months. So I really do think, like, maybe rather than having showcases, I'm really starting to think this, rather than having showcases where it's like, here's 4 or 5 first party games, and then we're just going to show you more of these games for the next 3 or 4 years. I think it might just be like every State of Play, they have some kind of update from a first party studio, just one studio. And if you think about it, if we get like 4 State of Plays a year, if you think about it, that fills it in perfectly. You do one showcase, you have 4 PlayStation studios or 5 PlayStation studios announcements, 5 different studios. You don't do a showcase, you do 4 State of Plays, 1 per quarter, 1 PlayStation studio goes per quarter. So the outcome is not drastically different, but it's different enough in that it does allow for more breathing room. But I don't want to get ahead of myself, because, like, look, I don't want to assume that every State of Play we're going to get first party reveals. I don't want to assume that, because we're not there yet. We don't know if that's actually like a thing they're doing. It's just that this year we have seen that, and the next State of Play absolutely makes a ton of sense to have one major reveal. At least one. It makes the most sense. because you're going to have a whole new console out there you're selling. So ACM with a direct $10 donation. Thank you so much for that, buddy. He says the new Test Drive Unlimited is so good. That's it. That's all he says. He says it's so good. That's interesting. I actually wasn't paying much attention to this new Test Drive game. I did see some people talking about it on Twitter, but I'm happy to hear you're enjoying it, ACM. I don't think I've ever played Test Drive before. Maybe I did many, many years ago. But ACM, I appreciate the direct donation, buddy. Appreciate all the super chats you guys have been dropping today. You guys have been dropping so many super chats. I can't really even cover the topics, which is fine. You know, the support is amazing. Titus Crow says, Astro might have pulled me back in. I thought I was out. It's not really my genre, so they have to be near perfect. This game might be that. Very interesting. Very interesting to hear, Titus. See, that's what I mean. I'm curious to see, like, how many people out there have that same feeling you do, where it's like, this isn't really my cup of tea, but if it's like a near perfect game and like a must play, they might reel me in. And that's exactly what you're saying. This might be that. I mean, it doesn't. I mean, what? Like somebody said earlier, like Super Mario Odyssey is like a 97 on Metacritic or something, which is like, damn. ACM says it's so much fun. Been waiting 13 years for this. LOL. That's awesome, dude. Glad to hear it. Omen86 with another chat says, more smaller games like Ratchet & Clank and Astro with shorter dev cycles for smaller budgets and increase the release output. Rivers of profit. Damn. I like the way you put that, Omen. Rivers of profit. More smaller games. Shorter dev cycles. Yeah, I think that's another aspect to this that I didn't really cover. Is when we talk about Astro Bot, I mean, it was made in like 3 years, and that's a far cry from like a 6-year AAA endeavor. I think in order for Sony to keep this sustainable, they're going to have more of these games, like you're saying, interlaced in between, where, you know, they said they want to strive to have one major tentpole title a year. Who knows if they're going to be able to do a major tentpole title every year, but that's what they're aiming for. So I think to basically supplement that is, as fans are waiting for that major tentpole title to drop at the end of the year, presumably at the end of the year during like the holiday, unless it gets delayed to like early next year, have that smaller, more mid-sized game, but very high quality to kind of hold everybody over. So like next year, for example, Death Stranding 2 might be the big tentpole next year. I mean, could Sony have something else up their sleeve that's somehow ready to go, like Ghost of Tsushima or Wolverine? Yeah, but for right now, Death Stranding 2 is what we know we're going to hear about. So I'm assuming that's going to be the major AAA, massive budget tentpole title. But what Sony could do to kind of surprise everybody who might feel a little bit like disappointed, like, oh, I'm not into Death Stranding, or oh, that's only one game. Oh, by the way, here's a standalone Venom game coming summer 2025, September 2025, or something like that, you know, or maybe like even mid 2025, where it's not going to be as big as Spider-Man 2, but it's going to be like a Miles Morales-esque size experience. That could work, you know? I think that could work great. And then you have other partnership games and, you know, exclusivity deals and whatnot. I think it could work. IP Gaming says, Astro Bot is awesome. Doc is returning. Are you wearing pants? Rip Concord. Are you getting an Atria? PS5 Pro reveal September 19th or 20th. Hot Pockets rule. Love you, MBG. My God. IP Gaming really gets his value, gets his money's worth, I guess you could say, from this single milestone chat. Astro Bot is awesome. You're saying Doc is returning. Are you talking about Dr. Disrespect? I'm assuming. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be watching Dr. Disrespect, bro. I don't know. It's kind of a weird situation with him. But am I wearing pants? I am wearing pants, yes. Rip Concord, agreed. Am I getting an Atria? I doubt I'll be getting it at launch. It does look interesting, but there are going to be too many games I got to play this holiday. And yeah, we're going to talk about that PS5 Pro reveal. I'm running severely behind on this stream with the topics, but we are going to talk about that. And I do like Hot Pockets. I've been trying not to eat them. Really, I haven't eaten Hot Pockets in a little while now. I've actually switched to eating Elio's. I was comparing the ingredients of Elio's pizza to Hot Pockets, and my God, dude. Look, I like Hot Pockets, but when there's something wrong with Hot Pockets, like I don't know what they're using to make those things, but Elio's pizza has like literally 1/4 the amount of ingredients in it. So yeah. Cypherpunk says Odyssey sold 28 million. Astro can easily beat that. Ooh, I don't know about that, bro. I don't know about that. I'm curious, Cypherpunk, I'm curious to know your logic behind this. What makes you think Astro can beat 28 million units? That's nuts, dude. Yeah, you're talking about a Mario game. I don't know about that. Prince G says Hot Pockets are toxic. I feel like they kind of are. Rudy, you're saying, is it sarcasm? Okay, if that's sarcasm, you know what? Now that I think about it, yeah. All right. I'm taking that as sarcasm, Cypherpunk. In which case, yeah. Okay. Suddenly that chat makes much more sense. Yeah, there's no way. Because I don't know. It's just, I'm like wondering, like, what's the angle here? Because if somebody were to seriously think that, it's like, what? There has to be something they're seeing that I'm not. But I don't think so, bro. So yeah, I don't. I think if Astro Bot can clear 5 or 6 million units, I think that's a huge success in the eyes of Sony. I think that's very successful. If it can go beyond that, I think Sony would be very happy. We have Dr. Moto 989 saying, just beat Sackboy. It's actually really good. Let's see if Astro can top my game of the year. FF7 Rebirth. PlayStation is killing it this generation. Oh my God. Yeah, I forgot that Rebirth came out this year. Damn, dude. Yeah. Yeah, it has. That's why I'm saying, man, it's been a bigger year for PlayStation than I think people are giving it credit for. It's been a tumultuous year. You know, it's had a lot of lows and a bumpy road along the way, but there were some high highs as well, certainly. And then Feral Flame says, Sony dropped an early look at PlayStation's 30th anniversary. So far, it's my first GT, digital game soundtracks, a curated playlist, and shapes of play. Yeah, I'm going to go over that now. I have the blog post up. And thank you for letting me know about that, Feral Flame. We're gonna cover that. And Omen86 says, Jim Ryan's emoji is gone? That's worse than Concord. I still have the Jim Ryan emoji. The problem is I don't know where to put him at this point. Yeah, Omen86, I was hoping you wouldn't notice this, man. Because I mean, I know you had a picture of him framed. But I don't know. I'm looking at the emotes now, and I wouldn't. The only way I can add another emote, because I've updated half of them or more than half of them. The only way I can add another emote is I have to hit another milestone of members. Apparently, I don't know what that milestone is. I can go check. Actually, hold on. You know what? Hold on. Let me check something real quick before we talk about the 30th anniversary. Where are they? No, that's the wrong one. I have a random emote here of Jim Ryan crying. Not that one. That's not the one I'm looking for. Here we go. Oh, okay. All right. So I actually, okay. You know what? I'm starting to stutter. That's how you know I've been talking too long. When I start to stutter, talking way too long. Oh man, I got a, oh my God, I forgot I had this one too. There are 2 emotes here that I need to make room for that I completely forgot about. Because I knew I had a couple more that I couldn't fit. So here's what we'll do. We're at 177 members. We're at 177 members. Whoever gets us to 200 members, I will let them decide which emote gets replaced. I will tell you the 2 emotes that I have that I'm talking about. One is of Jim Ryan. One is of retired Jim Ryan, and the other is of Blue Laser Eyes Hiroki Totoki. But here's the thing. Whoever does donate, if anybody does donate that, whoever gets us to 200, there are a few emojis that are off limits that cannot be removed. The member bombs, basically the first row, the Feed the Beast, and the cats. And maybe the rant. Saying we need both back. I want to put both. It's hard, man. They only give me that's how YouTube kind of incentivizes content creators to push more membership goals, because they lock the emote slots behind the goals. The fact that we have as many as we do is surprising, dude. Like, we have way more than most content creators out there on YouTube because we've hit some crazy milestones with members. But yeah, the AAA-ness is off limits. I think I'll probably, I mean, look, I'll probably put the Jim Ryan back because, I mean, Omen, bro, you dropped like 120 members today alone. So I could do that for you, no problem. I don't know which one to remove. But when it comes to Hiroki Laser Eyes Totoki, what a name, bro. What a name. Suggestion to get rid of the Hope's text. Alpha Spooker says, if we got a short and vague CG Ghost of Tsushima 2 trailer, would you be disappointed? It's been so long. I hope we see more, to be honest. It doesn't have to be gameplay, but at least an idea of how Ghost of Tsushima 2 will be bigger and better. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I wouldn't be disappointed because I fully expect the first time we ever see Ghost of Tsushima 2, it's going to be a CG trailer. But I think it could be a really good one. Like, I think the CG trailer could give us an idea of what the game will be. It shouldn't, like, it can't be like a title screen or some shit. It's got to be like a minute long, and it's got to give us an idea of where it's located. Maybe it could show Jin using some new weapons, show some new characters, kind of set the tone for the story. Like, that would be incredible, and I would be super happy for that. I'm right there with you. I absolutely would love to see much more than that, but I'm trying to just be realistic in that well, you know what? Hold on. On second thought, it might not be, you're right, it might not be CG. It might not be CG just because, well, if they're revealing the PS5 Pro, you know, they probably will want to show you like this game in a way that's like, oh, that's what it'll look like on the PS5 Pro. I don't know. I'm just trying to keep my expectations in check. I feel like, honestly, all of these, every time we get a new or a first reveal trailer, like the initial reveal trailer, it seems to always be CG. That seems to be the way it goes. So I'm just saying, with the PS5 Pro, they could maybe handle it differently, but I would be happy. To be honest, I would just be happy if it's revealed, man. I'm not expecting like gameplay or anything like that. But if you think back towards Ghost of Tsushima 1, it was a pretty sick CG trailer they had. But we'll see. That could be a game they choose to reveal. Is Leia trying to come in? Okay. Yo, get it. Oh my God. I let Leia in and... Boss, stop it. Hold on. There's a cat fight going on too close to my computer. Hey. Break it up. Break it up. Sheesh, man. Leia was like crying at the door, so I let her in. And immediately Boss like attacks her. And they're fighting, and they're just... I don't mind them having their little cat fights when they play, but right next to my PC, man. Like, I don't need that shit shutting down the stream. Titus Crow says, one problem, Astro's audience may be on the Switch. Well, hey, man. The one thing about Switch owners that they understand is they know... They understand the concept of buy the hardware for the game, you know? So there is that, Titus. And Omen, you say here, Jim's picture is still there. His replacement didn't prove themselves yet. Rhintology is strong here. My wife even dusts off Jim once in a while. Damn. Omen. I'm not surprised. I feel like we've had no choice but to move on from Rhintology here. It was kind of necessary. But you are right. The new leadership does need to prove themselves. They do need to prove themselves. That's absolutely true. Brad Beck, member for 12 months, says, I pre-ordered Astro Bot, the only game I've ever pre-ordered. I wanted Sony to know that Astro Bot needs more and more and more and more sequels. Well, damn, Brad is hyped. That's crazy, though. What's crazy to me about that is you're saying it's the only game you've ever pre-ordered. Interesting. Well, that's good. If you're trying to send a message, that's the way to do it, I think. So, guys, we are going to talk about... So, here's what we're going to cover. The next topic, we're going to talk about the 30th anniversary plans. And then after that, we're going to talk about... And this is probably the topic we'll wrap up with. We're going to talk about this insider who's letting us know the PS5 Pro reveal is coming next week, as well as a state of play and some first-party reveals, apparently, at the state of play. So before we dive into the next topic, I want you to do me a big favor and hit that like button. You guys are doing amazing today. We are over 350 likes, so thank you so much. Let's see if we can get one last major push. Can we hit 400 likes? That would be awesome. It's been helping with YouTube's algorithm. We're getting more people subscribing to the channel. So for everybody who's taking a moment to like the stream, I just want you to know it is helping, okay? But we are going to refer to this blog post. Sony put this out today, celebrating 30 years of PlayStation. And they have a 30th anniversary logo, or kind of a, not logo, well, logo with a picture. It's pretty cool looking. They say an early glimpse into some of the ways we're giving thanks to you, our community. This was written up by the Vice President of Global Marketing at Sony Interactive Entertainment, Isabel Tomatoes. I feel like I'm saying tomatoes in a weird way. Tomatoes. Let me get some tomatoes. All right. Anyway. Hello, PlayStation fans. As we celebrate this Friday's upcoming release of Astro Bot, Team Asobi's tribute to 30 years of iconic PlayStation characters, stories, and magical moments, we want to thank you for the love and passion you've shown for PlayStation. Your enduring support has made these past 3 decades possible. While PlayStation's 30th anniversary is still a few months away, today we're delighted to share some of the ways we'll be commemorating this milestone with all of you. Explore a nostalgic homage to the original Gran Turismo, enjoy digital soundtracks from classic PlayStation games, and create fun moments with our new Shapes of Play collection. These are just a few of the ways we're inviting you to join our community celebration, which starts this month. And for everyone excited to jump into Astro Bot, we're pleased to share the first look at a 30th anniversary photo opportunity located in the game's central hub, where bots you've saved throughout your spacefaring adventures will hang out, ready to dance along with your stylish moves. And so they show that photo here. It looks pretty cool. An early look at what's ahead. My first GT. This holiday, look forward to a free trial version designed to attract a diverse players of all skill levels. I don't know why I'm like stroking out here. To the globally acclaimed Gran Turismo 7. This upcoming release will include some of the favorite cars, tracks, and race events that evoke the nostalgia and excitement of the very first GT experience. Look out for more details on My First GT, available on all PS5 and PS4 players, available to all PS5 and PS4 players this holiday. Digital soundtrack in collaboration with Sony Music each month from October through January will release for the first time on Spotify a set of original soundtracks from fan favorite PlayStation franchises. You'll be able to stream the following game soundtracks on Spotify or purchase them on various digital music storefronts, including Amazon Music, Apple Music, and participating music retailers. So some of the soundtracks will be God of War 2, God of War Ghost of Sparta, Twisted Metal, Starhawk, and Unit 13. God damn, Starhawk. Bro, that feels so random. Yo, can we just take a second to acknowledge that Sony acknowledged Starhawk? What? Oh, hold on. Are they hinting at something here? I feel like that's kind of crazy. That is truly unexpected. And Unit 13 as well. That's kind of surprising. It says you can also vibe to our specially curated PlayStation 30th anniversary playlist on Spotify, available to stream today. We'll have more to share on the upcoming digital soundtrack releases, which will be added to this playlist over time, so stay tuned. Shapes of Play, a new collection of products called Shapes of Play, crafted by the team behind the design of PlayStation consoles, gives you the opportunity to create fun moments with our iconic shapes. Shapes of Play Battle is a board game, or it's called Shapes of Play Battle. It's a board game where you can challenge a friend to line up 4 different shapes of the same color on the board to win. Shapes of Play Create is a set of magnetic blocks that you can position in any direction to create fun shapes. Shapes of Play Recharge lets you experience a new way to recharge in between games, especially after that tough boss battle. Wait, what? Hold on, I'm trying to figure out. I understand what the first two are. So the first one's a kind of board game. Shapes of Play Battle. I wish... Hold on, I got to see if I can bring this picture up for you guys to see. If my streaming software doesn't glitch out. Because I'm trying to... Let me see if I can bring this up. Check this out. Oh, hold on. My God, why is this image so large? So, I'm just going to cover the screen here. Shapes of Play Battle, the one in the middle. This is like some kind of board game, I guess you can buy. Shapes of Play Create. And then what is Shapes of Play Recharge? What is this? It says like they're like saying you can use it in between like tough boss battles. Is it like one of those, is like a stress ball thing where you squeeze it? And Omen86 says, I'm having a beer. Cheers to all of you legends. Well, cheers to you as well, Omen. Thank you so much, man. Huge support from you today. Pretty crazy, man. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot. Glad to have you as part of the community, bro. But I just had to show you this. MBG Kojima retweeted PlayStation's 30-year anniversary. Ooh. That's awesome. Let me finish this up. It says, free online multiplayer weekend and esports tournaments. Join us later this month for a free online multiplayer weekend and exciting esports tournaments to celebrate the fantastic online games and communities. In PlayStation, we're hosting a free online multiplayer weekend on September 21st to the 22nd. During those days, you can enjoy online multiplayer games you own without having a PlayStation Plus membership on PS5 and PS4 consoles. It says during the same weekend, we'll host a series of PS5 esports tournaments featuring titles like NBA 2K24, 2K25, Madden 24, MLB The Show 24, EA UFC 5, Tekken 8, and Guilty Gear Strive. If you own any of these games and qualify, you can compete on September 21st and 22nd. Sorry, Mrs. MBG needed my attention for a moment. So it says if you qualify, you can compete on September 21st to 22nd to win a special 30th anniversary themed avatar and other game-specific prizes. That's actually pretty sick. Wow. Okay, so you can win a special 30th anniversary avatar if you win in any of these tournaments. Damn, that shit. That kind of makes me want to enter and see if I can win. I don't know if that I could win at any of these games, though. So, let me see. They say here at the very bottom, as we celebrate 30 years of play, these upcoming activities and releases are just a taste of what's to come. Be on the lookout for more announcements in the near future. More announcements, boys, in the near future. So it seems like they're starting off pretty tame. You know, I'm just glad to see they're clearly doing something. I was going to say it'd be nuts if they didn't do anything. But they're starting off pretty tame. And they're letting us know they're going to be announcing more in the near future. Guys, hold on one second. I'm sorry about that. I keep getting up and walking away. Doolin Jones with another very generous super chat. Thank you so much, man. You're saying PlayStation is killing it this year. Long live console exclusivity, guys. Xbox can moan, but PlayStation beat Xbox masterfully in a year when it had no games. Bruh. Shout out to PlayStation having all the Game of the Year nominees this year. I mean, dude, Doolin, that's why, like, again, Sony has had some pitfalls this year, but one of the things that people can't deny for Sony this year is they did provide a lot of games to play. And some of these games, yeah, are very clearly Game of the Year nominees. And so if you're somebody who bought a PS5, regardless of how badly Concord flopped and, you know, how bad that situation with the Helldivers 2 PC, you know, account requirement shit and, you know, just some of the mistakes they made along the way, regardless of all that, like, dude, they delivered and they still are. And they delivered in the most important way possible, which is they have games. Do we want more? Yeah, we always want more. But I agree with you, Doolin. I think that they've been doing a good job, and I think that the console exclusivity, you know, even with a game like Black Myth Wukong, right? Like, who knew that game was going to be that successful and that big? And that basically made PS5 sell out in China. So, I mean, you talk about them beating Microsoft. I think I think in a lot of ways, Sony has outclassed Microsoft, and they've proven that over the years. But I think Microsoft has probably been their own worst enemy over the years, truthfully, more than anything. And I think that's why we're like, what is it that PlayStation fans fear at this point? It's Sony becoming their own worst enemy. And that's why so many people were so freaked out about Concord, because it's like, oh man, Sony, what are you doing? But then they come out literally like 2 weeks later, here's Astro Bot. It's like, oh, okay. That's more like it. So, Duelin's hype, bro. You can tell the energy is shifting, man. You can tell the energy is the energy around and the feeling around PlayStation is beginning to shift quite a bit, and Sony didn't do that much yet, you know? I mean, like in this moment, they're dropping Astro Bot. Man, speaking of Astro Bot, I still don't think my copy arrived yet, and I'm starting to get fucking nervous. I am starting to get nervous at this point that, dude, tell me this is going to be incorrect and it is actually going to come tomorrow. Oh, come on. They pushed it back now. So it says it's still arriving today, but it says now the latest it will arrive is at 4:30. So that's an hour and a half from now. All right, well, you know, I'll wait. I'll wait. Hopefully Silent Hill 2 remake and Until Dawn turns out to be good. I think they'll be good, yeah. Silent Hill 2 looks incredible. All right, so time to go over this rumor. So this is being reported by WCCF Tech. The PlayStation 5 Pro is going to be revealed early next week, according to rumors circulating online. Lunatic Ignis, who proved to be a somewhat reliable leaker in the past few months, correctly revealed the May state of play, as well as Black Myth Wukong's expansions that are in the works, before these things were officially announced. He revealed today on their Discord server that the mid-gen refresh system from Sony is getting revealed next week, possibly on Tuesday or Wednesday. The console's reveal will be followed by a state of play presentation later in the month, which will feature first-party games and potentially a world premiere, although there's the chance that this premiere may be saved for the Game Awards in December. So this is what I mean, man. Like, this guy has been correct. This guy is a somewhat reliable leaker, where he talked about the state of play in May. He called it before it happened, and he called a bunch of stuff regarding Black Myth Wukong. And he's saying that apparently Sony's going to be revealing the PS5 Pro next Tuesday or Wednesday. Now, I got to ask you, I have to ask you guys, what do you make of Sony revealing it so early in the week? Like, are they just going to do a pre-recorded video and a blog post? Because I mean, I don't know. I would have thought that a PS5 Pro reveal would have been saved for like later in the week, like a Thursday or something. A blog post with a 5-minute video. I hope not. I feel like maybe it could be just like a pre-recorded presentation that they reveal. Like, I want to know, like, is it going to be a streamed thing? You know, like, are they going to make a big deal about it where it's like, tune in at this time to watch Mark Cerny reveal the PS5 Pro console teardown? Oh, that'd be funny. That'd be interesting. It's coming up sooner than I expected, though. I got to be honest. Like, I didn't think it was going to be like as soon as next Tuesday or Wednesday. You think Sony's going to reveal it live and talk about it? Well, what's even more exciting to me is this leaker, Lunatic Ignis, is saying that at this state of play, there is going to be first-party reveals. And he even says there might be a world premiere. Like, and I guess he's using the term world premieres like it's going to be a big reveal. And this is exactly what we've been talking about, where it's like, it is disappointing that we're not getting a full-blown showcase, but speculation, since we heard about that, arose. Could it be something much bigger? Is this guy a good leaker, MBG? He's been correct about most of the things he's leaked, seemingly. He's never thrown anything like crazy out there, and I don't think he's been like dead wrong about anything. But he did get the May State of Play, and he did get like the DLC about Black Myth Wukong. So he clearly has some kind of source. But I guess he just hasn't been doing it for that long. So it's kind of like, you know, it's one of these situations where the potential for him to be wrong is definitely there. But I think I actually do believe this 100%. Because we already heard from Jeff Grubb that the PS5 Pro reveal is coming. And we also heard from Jeff Grubb that, you know, the State of Play is happening. Wouldn't they all be world premieres? Not necessarily. A lot of what we see at State of Plays are updates. We do get some new game reveals, certainly. It's like a good mix, but I don't know. I feel like him emphasizing... He basically was emphasizing a first-party world premiere. I mean, to me, that sounds like exactly what we've been waiting for. Let me see if I can find the image of exactly what he says. He said on his Discord, he said, Sony will be holding a pretty big State of Play. Why do reporters leave that out, dude? Like that, a pretty big State of Play. Like, okay, that look, I know that that's just like one word, but leaving the word big out of the headline, if somebody says it's going to be a pretty big State of Play versus it's just going to be a State of Play, that changes my excitement level. Pretty big is what we need right now. Pretty big is what I want. So he says, Sony will hold a pretty big State of Play next week. The big announcement that all of you are eagerly waiting will take place on Tuesday/Wednesday. So he's referring to the PS5 Pro. For those asking how big, in reference to the State of Play, he says it will have first-party content, including a world premiere that I am waiting for. But I'm not 100% about the world premiere being at this event or the Game Awards. He says the State of Play is going to take place on September 19th or 20th. He does say at the end here, it's pretty strange that Sony is doing it this way, and that he could always be wrong about it. But I don't know, man. This sounded like this could be pretty good. Not gonna lie. Ghost 2, no doubt. That's what I'm starting to think. I'm starting to think it's gonna be Ghost of Tsushima 2. Maybe Venom. Venom, yeah, that could be possible. That could be possible. That would be a big one too. It's going to be Bloodborne. Dude, how crazy would that be? It's like it's actually Bloodborne. Omen says it's not Ghost of Tsushima 2. I think Resident Evil 9 would be a great one, but I would love to see Resident Evil 9 show up at the State of Play, yeah. I don't know that would be the big, like, exclusive world premiere, but that would be huge. Resident Evil 9 would be huge. Broccoli Rob says, it is. Miyazaki called me and confirmed. Well, there we have it. Jerry Gamer says, found Snake and Astro Bot and more MGS characters. Wait. Jerry, are you playing right now? Are you playing Astro Bot right now, Jerry? Yeah, it seems like things are really heating up for PlayStation right now. Let me go check Twitter, see if anything else has come out. Oh, shit. Wait, is that real? Yo. Sony secretly revealed the PS5 Pro. Is that real? Dude, this one guy's like, you're lying. You're an Xbox guy. Like, how many times? This is how I know people don't. Why do people comment on my shit when they don't listen to what I say? Why don't people ever. Like, for those who actually listen to me, dude, thank you. Like, sincerely, thank you. Like, it really is the biggest difference maker because too many people come at me not knowing what the fuck they're talking about. I had basically during the PS3 era, I switched to the 360 and I transitioned from the 360 to the Xbox One, but then came back with the PS4. Prior to the 360, PS1, PS2, that's where it was at for me. I did have a GameCube. I never had an original Xbox, actually. And I did play the Dreamcast for a bit. N64, when I was way young, playing like the SNES a little bit. So check this out. I got to double check to make sure this is real. It seems Sony may have... No, hold on. I think that's fake. Hold on, I think that was a Photoshop. I was gonna say that seemed a little. Yeah, see, this is where I gotta do my due diligence here before I. All right, let me check the blog post. Maybe it's the picture on the blog post. Holy shit, they did. Bro, Sony hid the PS5 Pro in the fucking blog post. I'm gonna show you this. I can't believe it. They're cheeky. Let me bring it up. That's so funny. So look, I got to zoom it in real. I want to see if you guys can see it as I'm zooming it in. Let me know when you spot it. Hold on, I got to really stretch this thing out here. Let's really stretch it out. Hold on, I got to keep going. I got to keep going. I got to keep going. I actually got to keep going. Hold on. Boom. Right in between the blue at the corner of the PlayStation and the 3. There it is. There's the fucking PS5 Pro, dude. You got the 3 lines. That almost looks like, yeah. They did it. Dude, this is straight from the PlayStation blog. That is so awesome. You know they did that on purpose. That's crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. The Adidas console. That's, yeah, so that pretty much confirms the reveal is next week, dude. Sony straight up putting the PS5 Pro right in the blog post. Hey, yo. They actually teased it. Okay, how do I get this giant image out of here now, though? Did I tweet it yet? No, I should. I really should tweet it. Damn. Let me see if I can crop it. I completely missed that too. Oh wow, that's too that's too cropped. Can't see shit. Hold on. I'm trying to make it so it's still like visible. Okay. This should be good enough. Yeah, I'm going to tweet this live. I feel like I have to make a marking on it though so people can see. Cuz I got to like circle it. So all right. Wow, that's a really shitty circle. That is like the shittiest circle ever. Let's try this again. That circle's even shitty. My God, why can't I make a freaking circle, guys? That one's even worse. What? Okay. I'm having a situation right now. All right, that's as good as it's going to get. Why is it so... Dude, why does this look so shitty? Guys, I'm just trying to like... All right. That'll have to do. I'm doing it live on stream. Oh, Wario64 already tweeted it. Just do an arrow. Yeah, doing an arrow. I don't know. An arrow probably would look even worse. Well, let me go see how Wario tweeted it. Wario64. Because, I mean, he's got a huge Twitter account, so... He did. He did tweet it out. All right, hold on. All right. I put it out there. I said Sony teased the PS5 Pro in their 30th anniversary blog post today. And then I put the image with a really shitty circle. Omen86 says, when Metal Gear Delta comes out, will MBG cosplay return? I think it will. Yeah. I've been thinking about it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to... See, the thing is, I lost almost everything. So I would have to rebuy like half of it. I did I don't know. I could probably find some of it. It's probably lying around somewhere. But I think it will return. JMR77 says, damn, I need to calm myself down. I'm so hyped now. Yeah, there's a lot. You could tell there's a lot on the horizon. But yeah, Omen, I did enjoy doing that cosplay. And it only makes sense if I'm willing to... If I'm willing to, you know, cosplay as MGS3 Naked Snake / Big Boss during a PlayStation showcase, it only makes sense when the game comes out. I gotta... Am I ripped enough to play Solid Snake? I mean, I would have to get a little bit more cut, I think. I think I have the muscle mass to do it, yeah, but... Have I seen the Bloodborne emulation progress? I have, and I really think it's sad because like if they keep making substantial progress, Sony's going to shut it down. Like, they have to know that. Sorry guys, I'm just scrolling on Twitter a little bit right now just to see. Oh my god. Bro, this is like I could not show this on my stream, what just came up on my fucking feed. So, okay. I'm going to describe this to you guys. I'm going to just describe it. You know what? Maybe I'm not. I think describing it would be even more detrimental than just showing it. All right, here. Okay, so I'm going to describe it because I'm in too deep now. So you guys know that picture? It's a famous meme of the grave and the dude like sitting in front of it. Like, everybody knows that meme, right? So it's that. Pay very close attention to this part. It's that meme with the grave and the dirt over the grave. And on the gravestone is a picture of Concord. And then where the guy is supposed to be, going like this, it is a picture of Tracer and another character, another female character, I assume, from Overwatch 2, basically 69ing on the grave. Tracer on yeah. It's wow. Like I'm not even looking for this shit. It just pops up. I'm like, what is this? It's got 1.9 million views. You're saying show me. Dude, I don't know. I don't think I could show this on my stream, to be honest. Like it walks that line of I think I could get in trouble. Magnum Gaming says, what is 69ing? Well, look, man, I'm not here to... I think I worded it as best I could. I just risk it all for us. Nah, I can't. It's a wild picture if you think about it, though, man. Like I'm like in a trance staring at it. Oh, I made a huge mistake going into the replies. All right, we're getting way off the rails now. 69 is Concord's Metacritic score. Oh wait, hold on. That is actually it, isn't it? Okay, thank you for letting me know, Mrs. MEG. I'm going to come get it now. Be right back, guys. Well, Mrs. MBG informed me that, oh my God, my eye itch is so bad. I'm sorry. You just have to sit here and watch me aggressively itch my eye. Did Mrs. MEG just see my screen? No, she didn't see it, but she clearly heard me talking about it. I was like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, but your game's here. So, Astro Bot saved me from this debauchery. But the package has arrived. Omen 86 using a super sticker. The poop. The smiling poop. I didn't even know that was a super. I think I did know that was a super sticker. I haven't seen it in a while. Let me check something real quick, and then we'll open this game. Yeah, this whole thing with the PS5 Pro leak. Oh, dude, wait. Some people are thinking this is a hard drive. Somebody says this looks like an external HD drive. It kind of does. No, it does. No, that's not what it is. I'm looking at the comparison images. It's definitely a Pro. It's 100% a Pro. Whoa, boss. Boss, bro, I love you, man, but this is not the time. I'm about to show off Astro Bot. I just got it in the mail. Here we go, guys. It's here. Boss, you need to inspect it. Okay, I guess it's boss now. I guess it's boss's stream now. He needs to smell the cellophane wrap. I'm waiting for him to try to bite it. That's what I'm waiting for. That new game smell. Got to open the package first. But we'll open it up here. I'm actually going to go put it in my PS5 to install. And we will, as we wrap the stream up, we'll move to the members stream. Guys, we'll do a last call. God, I can't open this. Boss, can you bite this for me and open it? I give you permission. All right. He's like, nah, bro. We'll do like a last call here, okay? Last call for any more fan funding, any more membership gifts, anybody who wants to become a member. We are going to be doing a member stream once this ends. So we'll probably be going for like another 5 or 10 minutes or so here. Any more super chats, anything else? Oh, wow. Oh, that's really strong. That new game smell, it's like just like exploded out of the wrapper here. It's very strong with this one. There's no disc. No, I'm just kidding. It's over here. So, guess we'll just kind of do the. So this is what the disc looks like. Boss, could you stop, bro? Stop it. So let me go place this in the PS5 so it can install. All right. It's installing now. And so this is what the inside of the case looks like. That's the and on the inside here I got the code for the bonus contents. And hold on. We got this. Whoa, okay. Got a poster. Okay. Hold on. All right. Sorry about. I know I keep walking away. I had to get that thing going on the PlayStation 5 there. It's Omen86, you're saying digital downloads will never have that smell. It's true, man. Like there is a specific smell. It's probably like chemicals or something, but yeah, you always get that kind of new game smell with physical new physical titles. It's very nostalgic for me. Saying you showed the code and someone is going to use it if you don't quickly redeem it. Already one step ahead of you, Mr. Bills. It's already redeemed. I did show it accidentally, though. My bad. I didn't, for a second, I didn't know that's what it was, and it's already inputted. I just did. Don't worry. If you try to steal my code, too late, sons of bitches. I wouldn't blame you, though. I wouldn't blame you. I'd be like, ain't no way. But yeah, we're good. Best physical disc for the PS2. Thank you for the heads up, though, guys, because I probably didn't realize I flashed the code. So I think this is the first time I ever got a game early, man. Truthfully, this is, definitely a rookie move. This is the first time in my life I think I've ever gotten a game early. See, this is why I go physical. I can hear the music playing. Download it and let's go. Yeah, it's at 30% right now. No controller. The controller didn't come in yet. Let me see. Did Sony send it to me? No. I ordered it from Amazon. Did Boss behave better today? He did. Yeah, as soon as he woke up, he was greeted with some treats because we crushed our goal. Good to know that the physical comes with the extra PSN avatars. Yeah, I don't think it comes with everything the digital deluxe version gives you, but I'm pretty sure. I'm trying to see. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you could buy it. Like the $10 upgrade or whatever. They usually let you do that. We're at 43% now. By the way, guys, if you haven't already, please hit that like button. We're going to be moving over to a members lounge not a lounge, but a members gameplay stream. I'll still call it, I guess, a members lounge. Unholy Mayhem says, can we get to 200 members for the day? Well, it's up to you guys if you want to make that happen. I mean, we more than crushed the goal. We almost crushed the goal 2 times over. We're at 177 members. We're going to be doing some Astro Bot gameplay in the for the member stream in a couple minutes. So if you are a channel member, please look forward to that. If you are not a member, please consider becoming one. No reps. Oh, you're right. We got to get some reps. Never mind. We'll do. No, I can't do that. That won't work. All right, let's get some reps. Wait, hold on. Before we do that, though, we have Cool Kid. Hopefully I'm saying your name correctly. We have Cool Kid coming in. He's like, you know what? I want to join you guys. I want to partake. He becomes a member. Dude, thank you so much. Welcome to the Greatness Awaits tier, bro. Appreciate the support, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That actually brings us up to 178 on the day. Well, I did say it right. Okay. I do also want to let you know, because I know that not everybody wants to see, like, they're afraid of spoilers or anything. Keep in mind, this is still going to be, you know, you can watch this later on as well. You know, if it's not something you want to see right away, it'll still be up there. And OK comes in and drops a single membership gift. Cool Kid and OK, they want to get a little member train going here at the end of the stream as we wrap up. That brings us to 179. OK, thank you, bro. You see, I have to. Okay. Yeah, just give me one moment. And Omen86 says, okay, guys, it's been awesome. Happy to be back and dropping support here. MBG deserves it. Always consistent and interactive. Enjoy Astro Bot. Pure joy. Well, thank you so much, Omen. Definitely the GOAT of today's stream. You dropped like 120 member gifts, bro, and multiple super chats. So it's really awesome to have you back. And I hope you'll, be able to continue to join us going forward. Seems like there's a lot getting ready to pop off. So really very much appreciate it, man. Seriously, means a lot. So we're at 179. All right, let's get some reps in here. We'll get some reps and then we'll head over. It says it's at 86%, so we'll be good to go. Bro, it is straight up dangerous doing these reps. Prince, I already told you, bro. I already told you I have no choice but to use the 15-pound dumbbells right now. I literally just smashed my desk and I thought for a second I may have broke my mic stand. There's just not enough room, bro. For Sony. For Astro Bot. Listen, I don't got to prove shit to you guys. I don't got to prove nothing to no one. Go watch my previous streams. I do 50-pound dumbbells. I got 30-pound dumbbells. I can go higher than that if I want. I just don't have... Dude, dumbbells are expensive as shit. Once you go past 50 pounds, they're super expensive. But there we go. Got a pretty decent pump in my biceps, though. I did work out earlier, too. You got the Bowflex ones. About $500. Just get the shake weight. Oh, my God. I curl 150 pounds like MBG. I don't have to prove it. Your whole gym costs about $1,500. Damn. Yeah, I'm wrapping up now. All right. So, guys, here's what we're going to do. We're going to bring this stream to an end, and we're going to move over to a members-only stream. The members-only stream is probably going to go up about 5 minutes or so after this one. I just have to get it set up. And before I do that, though, I do want to seriously thank everybody for your support. Oh, we're back at 99K subs. Good shit. Took long enough. Hopefully we'll keep that going. I will have a video going out later today as well. So look out for that. But for my members, there's a stream going up. We're going to play some Astro Bot. Before we go, though, Titus comes in with the super chat, and he says, MBG, have fun with Astro Bot. I will get my game tomorrow, so I don't want to get spoiled. It was a great stream. Bye, guys. Till next time. Well, thank you so much, Titus. Again, completely understandable. I know a lot of people want to avoid spoilers, and that's totally understandable. But, yeah, to anybody who shows up, definitely will appreciate it. And thank you guys so much for all your support. 179 members today. That is colossal. Seriously, thank you so much for that level of support. It means everything to the channel and to the community. I can only do this because you guys make it possible. And thank you to everybody who dropped the super chat. And thank you to anybody who dropped anything today. It means a lot. Broccoli Rob with a $2 super chat says, can I borrow $1? Can I borrow $1? Listen, the only thing that will cancel this stream is if like 5 people show up. Even then, I'll still just do it. But Broccoli Rob, thank you for the $2 super chat asking if you can borrow $1. Rudy says, can you please give that man $1? I do want to make sure to give a shout out to Devil Shooter as well. He does the timestamps for the streams. He does a great job. So if you guys see him in the comments, give him some thanks, show him some support. I know he really appreciates it. And yeah, that's going to do it. Oh, wait, hold on. Jakey Stee comes in at literally the last moment here and drops another membership gift. Jakey Stee dropping a single thank you for that, bro.
Appreciate it.
That brings us up to 180 members. Setting somebody up for a 20 bomb to get to the 200 mark. But 180, bro, that is that's something. Thank you, Jakey. Let me update that and we will head out. So again, it'll take me about 5 minutes or so to set up the stream. And Jerry Gamer comes in and drops another gift. So we got a single train going at the end here. Guys, hold on. I gotta go check on something. When I come back, I better see a 20 bomb. So, Jakey Stee, Jerry Gamer, appreciate you dropping the member gifts, man. I'm just going to give it another moment here because sometimes, you know, Broccoli Rob's like, bro, I'm out here asking for $1. Can I get $1? All right. All right. I think we are good now. Let me see. There we go. So, guys, thank you so much for all of the incredible support. To all my members, I will catch you in the member stream coming right up. And to everybody else, I don't know if we're going to be doing anything tomorrow. I'm going to be taking Saturday off. We'll probably reconvene here on Sunday. All right. If anything changes, obviously just come check the channel to see if anything is going on. But I'm thinking Sunday is when we're going to come back. And yeah, so, all right, guys. Thank you so much for everything. I will catch all of you in the next one. And to all my members, I'll catch you in the upcoming stream. So until next time, guys, thank you and take care. Hit that like button on your way out, all right? And yes, Omen, if I forget next stream, if you're here next stream, remind me to put that Jim Ryan emoji in there, okay?